Hello, everybody. Welcome to our stream of The Few and Cursed, where I am joined by people who are highly important to the world of gaming, or at least to my world of gaming. Here I am joined with the very awesome people that you will see on the site here, and we are going to be playing The Few and Cursed role-playing game, a special adventure that I wrote for us to be able to play around with some of the world of The Few and Cursed, which is made by one of our guests who's over there, and he'll introduce himself in a second, but I'll introduce myself. I am Scott, the creator of the RPG game, and also Maximum Apocalypse, and also somebody who did all of this other stuff you're seeing here in the background. I make games. That's who I am. My social thing to find me on Twitter is right there. So why don't we have everyone introduce themselves? We'll start with Felipe, and we'll go from there.
Hey everyone, I'm Felipe Caño. I make comic books and I write stuff. I write scripts for film and TV as well. I'm the better half, because he's not here to correct me. So I'm the better half of the creative duo behind the Few and Cursed. We came up with the whole shenanigans, with the whole thing, with the redhead and the lore of this world and the crows of Manaulana. And you can find myself on Instagram because I really don't do Twitter. And you can also find the latest Thinkers comic book, issue number 8, up on Kickstarter right now. It's a brand new adventure for Redhead and her newly acquired sidekick, Hazel. So that's why I'm, guys. Thanks for having me. And I do have a special power being the creator of the comic book and not that experience with RPGs. At any point of the game, I can invoke the right of, as the creator of this, I think I'm going to ruin my favor. I think this can happen.
I'm Susan Benville, and I do not have the writerly god fiat that Felipe has, which makes me very bitter and angry. I am also a graphic novel and comic book writer. I'm the writer of a book called Awake and another book called Nyx that just dropped. It's available everywhere. Pretty much you buy books like that. I am also a RPG fanatic. I've been kind of buddies with Scott for a while now. And I also do a lot of not tweeting. And if you want to find out what I'm up to, what I'm doing, I have a Substack called Swirling Words. I think you can probably check that out right here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Ganade, and I am the publisher, head honcho at Rock Manor Games, the publisher of Max Apocalypse role-playing game and Few and Curse role-playing game. I think that's good. Let's go over to Dag. My stuff's on the bottom. You know me. I'm in some other videos, you know.
Yeah, and g'day guys, my name's Mike, I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and I am here against my will. If you do find me, this is proof of life, as far as we go. No, I'm an entertainer. I live in the TTRPG scene. Quite literally, you can find me online everywhere. I do shows with a bunch of creators like, of course, Rock Manor Games and stuff, as well as, TTRPG performers such as Quincy's Tavern and Careful Cantrip and a bunch of other places. But I also have my own little home over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Dead Aussie Gamer, where you can find me running a variety of different Pathfinder, D&D, and other non-D20 based TTRPGs as well. I am super excited to be here because I think the last big thing I promoted with these guys was, of course, Maximum Apocalypse, where I got to write A Stitch in Time, which was an adventure that featured a couple of colorful characters, which if you guys are interested in Maximum Apocalypse RPG as well, you can go check out that on DriveThruRPG, and you can see the thing that I wrote and then watch how none of that actually happened during the live game. Yeah, over on YouTube. So there, that's the thing.
Some of it happened, 1% or so of what you're out. Yeah. I got sidetracked with a lot of puppets.
Yes.
But for everyone at home and for you players. We're going to be taking this adventure out of the normal place where you find the comics and into a place where you sometimes find the comics, a small little bit of time, space, actually. We're going to be going out to Australia, and this adventure is going to be taking outside of Australia in a place called New Sydney. New Sydney is a sort of dirty, rundown place. I guess the best way to describe it would be a small community of survivors that base their entire sort of survival on this one little shared dirty water hole they call the well. And despite it being nothing more than a hole in the ground with a bucket on a rope that people reach down and try to get water out of, they do take it very seriously, and the people of New City are quite protective of it, especially against outsiders. Unless you can prove for some reason that you are useful to the community, they essentially don't like you. But weirdly, they also don't seem to like each other very much. They are all up in each other's business all the time, but they will stand together against them dirty outsiders trying to steal that water. You are all in this area and in this town, this small community of New Sydney, not because you are necessarily from it, though some of you might be. Some of you are actually probably outsiders that have proven yourself thanks to the help of a single entity, a person known as Jethro. Jethro is related to you all somehow in some way. I'm sort of giving one player, Dead Aussie Gamer, the opportunity to actually be from New City if he wants, but that's up to him. The rest of you will be the outsiders that are connected to Jethro. Now, there are a couple of possible options for how you are connected to Jethro, and we're actually going to start off with that discussion. Jethro is a affluent member in the society, as it were. He has saved practically everyone's life. He has helped everyone in some way, and he is related to about half the people that live in this community somehow. So he's pretty much the person in the know when it comes to this community, and you all have a connection. You can either be a family member, someone that he saved from a dingo attack, someone that he stood up for when the community was trying to oust you, or his vote was the deciding vote that got you accepted in the community. It's a very similar vein. Or Jethro found you dehydrated out in the desert and brought you back to New Sydney to be cared for. So one of those ways is how you're connected to this character known as Jethro. So amongst each other, I want you to sort of think about that and decide how you're connected to this character Jethro, because it will become important in just a moment.
Well, say the vote option again.
The vote option was that when the community came to vote to accept you in, Jethro's
Uh-huh.
was the deciding vote. So there was a split vote, people saying no, people saying yes, and Jethro's vote was the final deciding vote that got you.
But there is no reasoning behind that vote. It can be a mystery.
Yeah, it could be a mystery. Maybe something that
Okay.
you and Jethro know, but that the rest don't.
I would love to take up on that option.
Okay.
I'm very drawn to the saved me from a dingo attack.
Okay.
I like that one.
All right. Them dingoes were trying to take you out, and he saved you.
Here's the thing. I'm a curse chaser. Nobody saves my ass. You know.
Yeah.
I'm going with
I
this.
knew you weren't picking that one.
What about Mike? What was your reasoning?
Me, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm Mike, right, for this?
Yeah, you're Mike.
Or
Yep.
Calvin. I'll
Yeah.
be dehydrated. You found me dehydrated. I got a little lost. My wayfinding isn't that great, but I'm good at talking once I woke up. Talking my way through it once I woke up.
Sure. Sure. All right.
And I think I'm gonna have Ned be related, but like I like the idea that that I'm from Perth and like he was local to New Sydney, so like you know there's definitely the East Coast West Coast kind of vibe going on. So so no one knows that we're related. Like, you know, it's kind of like this, like, you know, like kind of like we act more like we're frenemies than we do like actual blood relation. But
You're an estranged cousin. You're an estranged cousin from they took pity on.
Yeah, basically.
I gotta ask you something, Ned. So there is a thing, a West East Coast thing in Australia as well.
Oh yeah. No,
That's awesome.
we Perth is kind of like the isolated like place filled with like all the yuppies and stuff like that, and the East Coast is like, you know, filled
Where
with
all
all
the
the
major
people
stuff is. Yeah.
yeah, who drink coffee and like you know, yeah, Perth, and I'm like, come over here and say that.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this area, New Sydney, is actually out off the continent, as it were. The continent became inhospitable when water disappeared, and they're actually out in the ocean area, out in the shark graveyard, as it were. And so you live off near the coral, and everyone sort of survives by scavenging a little bit. Scavenging from the coral, where there's still some food properties and some water properties that you can get from it, some other properties you get from the coral itself. But that's how everyone in this community survives. This little well and scavenging around the area for stuff that's usable, collecting up component pieces and using them to craft and build things to keep the survivors alive. And that's what you all do here. But on this morning that you wake up, there's a commotion by the well, right? This watering hole that everyone goes to. It's sort of like the place to go. It's in the center of town, and there's a lot of people that watch with very careful eyes to make sure that people don't take more than their rationed allowed amount, right? That's sort of why they're all up in each other's biz all the time, and also why they're against outsiders. The more people that come in, the less water everyone gets to share. And so there's this sort of feeling, but there's this commotion outside the well this morning. And all of you are becoming aware of it as you sort of wake up to start your day.
I take it we're all in our homes.
Yeah.
I would definitely, Sister Sarah would definitely be very curious to know what's going on and sort of push her way aside. She's a pretty bulky gal, in a habit, and she's not used to, and she's a little bit middle-aged and used to people, kind of clearing a path for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the minute she starts telling people to sort of shove aside, let's see what's going on here. Who's causing problems?
Well, as a well-paid curse chaser, I'm having my coffee by the porch of the saloon, just watching all the action, what's happening. From a distance, I couldn't care less.
Okay.
I imagine Ned runs like the only like kind of tourist trap that is in this tiny crummy little like kind of like town, and it's like cave tours of like little like kind of burrows beneath the coral and stuff like that. But all it is he just kind of walks you down like a steep hill. You do a little bit of a walk around, and then he leads you back up here. For most parts, like I imagine, it's just used by town drunks just to kind of pass out somewhere where the missus won't see. So this time of day, you could see Ned going, "All right, Barney, come on, pick yourself up, get out of here." That's right, I don't care what Susie has to say, you just get, all right? Gotta hose you down now. Look at the mess you made.
Well, Calvin...
Yeah. Oh, sorry. And he'll be like at the top, like when he notices the confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Waldorf, as a treasure hunter and sort of a boisterous and charming personality, would be woken by. I'm woken by the commotion, but I am going to wait in my tent, listening carefully, hoping to be able to make a grand entrance sometime later on.
So Sister Sara and Ned both are kind of there then to see most of what's going on, to hear most of what's going on. And since Sister Sara pushed her way to the very front, she's at the very front of this whole thing. The commotion is clearly about Jethro, and there's a lot of different people talking about Jethro. Some people are concerned. Apparently, he kind of went out to do some early morning scavenging and didn't come back for a while. And so some people have kind of poked around a little bit. They haven't really gone out nearly as far as they think he might have gone, but they don't think he's coming back. Most of them believe that either he encountered some wild dingoes, which, he's usually okay at handling them dingoes unless they're in too big of a pack, or worse, the kangaroo. As lately there's been a kangaroo troop kind of getting closer and closer to the community. It's becoming more and more that people are interacting with them. The kangaroo are quite dangerous and terrifying. So if there were enough of them, he might not have survived. So they're basically concerned that he didn't make it when he went out for some scavenging. But usually he also goes with somebody, and he didn't take anyone this time. He didn't go with his son, who's standing right there in the front of all this. He's a 10-year-old kid. And he's got this little, like, bow and arrow, this handmade bow and arrow thing. and he's at the front. He's concerned about his dad too. There are some people that suggest maybe doing a search party. His son is one of the people presenting that to everyone. That maybe we just get a little party together. We go look for him. But there's while some people agree with this idea, nobody is willing to actually go do it. His son is named Oliver, by the way, Sister Sara. I'm sure you would know the kid's name.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Sister Sara would, kind of hunch down over at Oliver and say, Ollie, why didn't you go out with your dad this morning? You should have been with him.
He said he was just going to get some water from the peat bog. He didn't say he was going to be gone. But his toy, is a handmade boomerang. I said bow and arrow, but I meant boomerang. So he's got a little handmade, like very, very crudely carved out of some sticks kind of thing.
Well, that is a little disappointing, Oliver, that you would let your father carry the water from the peat bog all by himself. But I do agree that some of you sturdier folks should be gathering together, and Oliver, not you, of course. You should probably stay here in case your father comes back. But
I could find him.
Do you know exactly where he went?
Well, no, I could guess.
Well, then I think it's best you stay here, Oliver. We don't want your father to come here and find you missing and then go back out again.
Oh, come on. I'm sure he'll be fine. Look at the little fella. He's raring to go. He is. She'll be right, Look, we all know Death Row. He's been out there more than once. He's handled himself some dingoes, and maybe he's just got turned around in the middle of the night. It's still pretty early, isn't it?
Well, now, Ned,
that's true.
If I remember correctly, Jethro has been very helpful to this entire town. Now, maybe you don't care. Maybe that's not important to you. Maybe perhaps you're actually, maybe his disappearance would serve you in some way. I wouldn't know, but I'm looking around at the rest of the, folks in the crowd, but I know that the rest of us would really care about Jethro and making sure that we find him as soon as possible. He's essential to the survival of our town.
Lots of agreement.
Kind of ignoring you now, and if you want Ollie to come along, well, then you're going to be responsible for him.
Hey?
Right.
Yeah, all right. I bet you I can. I bet you anything that I could go out there, do anything that Jethro could do, 10 times better, come back here with water and a 10-year-old kid.
And Jethro, because that's the whole point of the
And Jethro, of course in Jethro. It's the whole point, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Not sure I trust you. Not sure I do. Not sure. You're always betting and wagering and drinking. Sinning. Just a sinner.
Well, you know what? You know what they say about people who don't have a little sin in them?
Oh, I don't know about that.
They
I don't know about that at all.
What rating is this show? No, he'll mutter something very Australian and very crass under his breath as he'll say, "All right, lad, listen, you and me, buddy. Look me in the eye. Okay, don't look at the ground. No, put your boomerang down. Look me in the eye. Okay, we're gonna go save your dad. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, where's your mum?
She's at home.
All right, you go tell your mum. Okay, you're gonna go get your dad. All right. She's got any beer in the fridge, you bring that with you. Now repeat what I just said.
Gonna go get my dad, and if she's got beer, bring it.
That's right. All right, you meet me here in 10 minutes. I need to go bother some people. Hey, Calvin!
What's up?
I'm going to the bush.
The bush?
Yeah, we're gonna find Jethro. You wanna come?
I'm willing to come, but only if this here curse chaser over here comes with us.
I couldn't care less unless I got paid. I want my water.
Will you do with a tinny?
Let's just say, look, if you want me to be out there, let's settle for a couple bottles of water. If there are any curses, then that's a whole sack.
Well, if there's any
Want
curses,
a sack of water?
Yep.
Or a sack of bottles of water. Be specific, you ungrateful wretch.
grateful. I have a living to make. Like I'm a curse chaser. You hire me, you get my services. You don't hire me, I'll move on.
Then you should move on. You are only allowed in this place because Jethro vouched for you and voted for you. Look at you. Crumbling over a bottle of water or two, just so you can, avoid going into any kind of actual danger.
It's easy to be self-righteous when you haven't looked the devil in the eye like I did.
Oh, I was born self-righteous. Go.
Look out, some dingoes!
People scatter a little bit.
Jethro just Ned just laughs, remembering the story about Sister Sara and Jethro. As he says, "All right. Well, look, anyone who's not going to just sit here and blow hot air at people, okay? We're going to be leaving in 10 minutes. Have enough food and water for a day's worth of travel, if you've got it, and if you don't have it, well, you can try anyway." And I'm gonna go get my gun.
Yeah, the townsfolk do kind of put together like an agreement to pay the curse chaser if the curse chaser is going out to rescue Jethro. He's that important to the community, and so they do come up with a way to sort of work that out based on people's rations. Somebody going without a little bit for a day. And someone else going out a little bit for a day, someone else going, well, I actually have some saved up. And they're like, what the? And there's like this whole like hit him upside the head and be like, why are you saving it up? That kind of thing. And then they're able to sort of go, yeah, we can get you 5 bottles of water. That should be fine.
No, look, it's 2 bottles of water for me to go out there and a whole sack of water if we run into any curses. I'm not that greedy,
I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. If we run into any curses, my treasure hunting and network of pop-ups and treasure hunting trinkets and sales and marketing tents will take any cursed objects, and I'll give you a % of what I can sell it for.
That's right.
I'd rather stick with the water and whatever the community is piling up. So you can save your silver tongue, my friend.
That's right. I forgot we were dealing with Sheriff Waldorf, the hero of Meadowview. That's what I forget. Or Mountain View. I forgot that.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So there you go. So there's some agreement to that payment.
So 15 minutes later, Ned shows up. As he sort of walks out, he says, "All right, Jethro would have been scavenging, and if I know Jethro, he would have been scavenging at least a few kilometers out, because everywhere near this town has already been tapped completely dry. Do I, or can I make a survival check in order to try and figure out where the least tapped, or you know what I mean, like based on like where we'd been scavenging, because I imagine there's some sort of rotation of like this area, that area, this area. What would be kind of next in the rotation roughly as to a good starting point?
Yeah.
What do we know about the peat bog?
Yeah, the peat bog she's right. The peat bog would actually probably be the next place, which is why the kid thought that that's where he was going. You could make a navigation skill roll to get the right path out to the peat bog. It is an area that there's not like a specific place where this is like an area that used to be some kind of watery area that occasionally water bubbles up again, which is why you scavenge it in cycles, like you were just explaining. So you can make that navigation skill roll to see if you can get that plan all worked out.
And,
all right.
And just so my fee is not for like an indefinite amount of time. So, make sure you get that right. I'm not going to be, sticking forever around you guys.
All right. So that was an 11 on my survival. I am proficient, so I roll straight, and that is an amazing success.
That is correct. Yeah, you absolutely know where this peat bog is. You could get there with your eyes closed. You go there often enough. Maybe sometimes when you're not supposed to be going over there to check on it, but you go over there to check on it from time to time, so you know exactly where this peat bog that they're referencing is. It's about a half-day walk or so.
Would the town have given us with that 5 bottles of water? Would they have given us some water and food rations to head out?
So they were planning on giving it all to the curse chaser, but since he dropped his fee, or his fee is 2 bottles, then yeah, they would willingly give another 2 bottles to the rest of you all for survival.
That's fantastic, but let's not forget, if I come back with a head of a curse in my hand, I better get paid. And I think the good sister should come with us. I think it's gonna do her some good, you know.
I'm definitely gonna be there. I gotta keep an eye on you, scallywags.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We need bait.
Oh, I thought we were bringing Oliver. Never mind.
Oliver is there. He does join up with you.
Oliver, get over here.
He does join up with you. He has his has a bag of some supplies that his mom gave him. None of it is beer. She was like, "We haven't had beer in my whole life," and so it's a bag full of some supplies and then his boomerang. That's it. That's all he's got. It's everything. He basically brought his entire life with him on this trip.
Boomerang? That's ridiculous. What's a boomerang gonna do? You need guns. Please tell me, guys, I'm bringing guns to this little escapade of ours.
No, I was this close to telling the 10-year-old to throw a boomerang at you. Just show him what a boomerang can do, mate. We'll show you.
Yeah.
That's the competitive Aussie in me. Just we'll show you what a boomerang. All right. Okay, so let's just cut to the chase here. If we're going to be working together, we need to know exactly what we bring to the table. Okay, I've got this. I call it Gladys. Okay, she makes sure that people don't get too close in case things go wrong. What do you do?
Isn't that a girl's gun?
I'm sorry, and the problem with that would be what you don't.
I have very crass things to say, but I will not say them.
Well, this here is a peacemaker, and he makes peace.
Well, yeah, I got one of those too. So let's not get too caught up in everything. I also bring some pretty good rope and wrangling skills along. And while I'm saying this, I take out my rope and start doing some tricks with a lasso, jumping in and around. Even in my older age, I can still do some pretty good tricks with the rope before I tie it back around and put it on my belt.
I'm sorry. You look like a nice boy, but I missed the part where we're going after cattle. I thought we were gonna rescue Jethro. So rope, really? A lasso?
Well, I'm just impressed you think I look so young, being the ripe old age of 52 that I am. So I'll take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment. You have boyish looks.
Yeah. I still have that spring in my step.
What about you, sister?
Oh, and she pulls out a bullwhip.
Don't tell me it's the Bible. That's your weapon?
Faith is the greatest shield. But this, and she holds up her bullwhip and cracks it right, in the air real loud. This is what I use to keep scalawags like you in line, and don't give me any lip, Buster.
Oh, well, can't wait to see you use your good faith against a nice crow of Manolana. That's going to be beautiful.
Be behind you.
All right. Well, given the circumstances, sis, you might want to walk up front then.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I have the protection of the good one on my side. And she starts walking off, and she kind of looks at you like, which direction am I supposed to be walking off in?
Yeah.
All right. I point, and we begin walking.
All right. Yeah, like I said, it's about a half day's walk. So you start walking in that direction. The land is just dry and just the worst kinds of conditions you can get. It is a hot day today as you walk out into the desert. All of you will make are getting hit with this heat, so you'll have to make a resilience roll to reduce the heat damage. You will taking 2 resilience damage. So 1 success on a resilience roll would negate all of that, and you wouldn't have to worry about it. But if you fail, then you'll have to take 2 damage as we start off on this journey on this very hot day. As the sand blows around your face, the heat beats down from above, and there's no kind of wind except the wind that blows the sand right into your eyes. Like that kind of wind, like the annoying wind.
I got an amazing success.
All right, you were fine.
I got a regular success.
You were also fine.
Failure for me.
Okay. Then you will take 2 damage, which you'll
I assume it goes through the armor.
yeah,
right?
bypasses the
Redirect
armor. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Down to 11.
All right, I rolled my dice. I got a 92. I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking it's good.
Not good.
Not
No, it's
good.
not.
That is bad. That is real bad.
Bad?
Yeah, you want to roll as low as possible in this game, getting the lowest numbers imaginable. For you,
Oh.
you would have needed to have rolled below a 47, and you rolled
I
a
said
92.
5? No, for my resilience says 45. Right?
Resilience is 47, if I'm looking at your character sheet correctly. 45 is the resolve, which is actually the one next to it.
Better for you, go for it.
Hold on, I think I have a different one. Like my resilience is 45, my resolve is 35, my immunity is 40. That's the one I have.
That's
How's
weird
that?
because I downloaded this one I'm looking at from our Facebook chat, and I have a 47.
That's
for your resilience.
exactly the same one that I downloaded it to.
Hmm.
Fight, fight, fight.
Very weird numbers. Very weird. Hmm.
I mean,
Wait, hold on. Wait, is when you say the resilience is 40, resolve is 45, immunity 47?
No. My resilience is Scott. You mean? Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scott.
I have 47 for resilience, 45 for resolve, and 37 for immunity.
Okay, no, that's not mine then. Yep.
Yeah. I can screenshot my stuff. So salvage is 45, resilience 45, resolve
Huh.
35.
I sent you the wrong one then. Okay, hold on one second. You still failed either way.
I think I should roll again. You know.
No.
I basically turn and say, Jerry, goddamn it, Jerry, get back to town. You can't come on this. Where's that freaking curse chaser? Oh, all right, hold on. We need to go back and get him. We brought this other guy. It's some random dude.
This is bizarre how we ended up with the wrong character information, but we shall correct this.
And apparently he can't stand the heat either.
Apparently he cannot.
Yeah, no, just go home. Have a freaking go down, have a lie down.
Come on, you guys! I want to be a good speaker.
No, go home, Jerry. You're drunk.
Yeah, I do not know what is happening, but that now should be in your Facebook chat. The correct one, the one that I have literally open right now.
Okay, I'm opening it, and you, sir, are correct.
Yeah.
My resilience 47, my resolve 45, my immunity 37.
Why don't you roll again, just so we know that Jerry wasn't standing in your place and everyone is super confused.
Yeah.
So let's give it a roll. Boom! I got a 57. So
Okay,
not...
still fail. All right, you still take the 2 damage, which we'll just keep track of. I'll write that down in my notes.
Don't forget to check your stuff to see if you have any things that give you advantage on rolls. I don't know if you do or not.
He probably does.
Not that big.
There is a horse blanket in his inventory. But we'll cover that a little bit later.
Gear inventory, calico vests, antiseptic rinse, ship stogies, horse blanket, advance on resiliency rolls versus weather.
Right, which is what we just did.
Right.
But that's fine because you rolled the second time anyway, and you still failed.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what advantage would do is advantage would give you an additional tens die that you would then roll, and then you would choose the better of the 2 tens numbers. That's how advantage works. So this is basically what you did. You just re-rolled. So in your case, you'll just re-roll because you're using the dice roller. So you would just re-roll. Wouldn't you have advantage? Yep. But anyway, it's hot. You 2 of you were fine. 2 of you were just like, this is nothing. And then the other 2 were like, oh man, it's really hot. And interestingly enough, the 2 that are like, it's really hot are the like outsiders who have just recently come to the area. And are like, oh gosh, Australian heat. It's different than, North American heat. Ah,
Yep.
different.
I'm getting some deja vu because this is Jethro found me out here when I was getting some heat stroke in my old age. I may have some spry knees, but the heat really affects me.
Mhm. This will stay for a little while until you guys get out of the heat, maybe take a rest and drink some water, but it's only like half a day's walk. So you walk all the way to the peat bog. And when you come around to it, there's this little hill that looks down into the peat bog. So you can kind of go up this little hill and then look down into it. Do you want to just traipse on over the hill, or do you want to take it a little bit easier, a little bit more stealthy, as it were? What's the plan?
I'd like to look and see if there's any like animal or curse tracks like floating around.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make a trekking roll for me on the outside of this whole little peat bog area.
17, which is a great success.
Great success. You can see footprints that you instantly recognize as Jethro's weird feet, because he had one that was slightly bigger than the other. So you're like, oh, this is definitely Jethro's tracks here. But there are also a whole lot of kangaroo tracks in the general area.
Hey, check out these munted footprints. I think Jethro's been... But, we're in kangaroo territory now.
Just point me where to shoot. I'll shoot it.
Well,
I'm
there's
not
Alright.
playing with kangaroos.
a few of them. I don't know. Are you familiar with kangaroo? I'm sorry, I don't know your name, so I just keep saying you, which I understand is rude. But
Well, you can call me Sir or Curse Chaser.
all right, kid. Look,
No,
CC.
not kid. Curse Chaser or Sir.
okay, CC. Now, kangaroos are very, very dangerous, particularly in large numbers. So you just need to be very careful and cautious, and not quite so overly confident, I think.
It's
from my
kangaroos.
perspective.
I face giant snakes, zombies, and vampires. It's like, are you seriously trying to put the fear in me of kangaroos?
I have done my best. I have done my best.
Ned, I'm imagining Ned's just laughing at you. Like, you just... yeah. Because I really know what kangaroos can do to people.
Right.
Those are the tracks. We follow them. We get Jethro back in whatever state he's in. We call it a
Yep.
day. We'll have ourselves a nice drink when we're back in town.
And the tracks go up the hill, or do they go around?
They go around and through like a little lower area, but they do kind of go up the hill, as it were, and down into the peat bog area.
All right.
But you haven't quite looked into that area yet. These are looking
No,
around.
Now,
I'm just
Look, I think
wondering-
rather than climbing up on the hill and having everything within a certain mile radius get a good glimpse of us, I reckon we just follow these tracks around the hill and into the peat bog, and that way we follow Jethro in a more direct way.
No. Why are you crazy? You want the high ground. The higher we are, the better. Even if we see something to shoot at, it's easier to shoot it from a higher ground. Come on, man.
Yeah, but you really want to make everything know that you're there? Big, large beacon with a lunch bell, just ding, 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 right there. I mean, sure, you'll get a good shot of anything that surrounds you.
That thing you have in your waist, that's called a gun. You use it to kill stuff, by the way.
All right,
Yeah,
fellas, this is an easy solution here. Let CC go up the top of the hill, and the rest of us can go around the side.
provide cover.
All right, give me another half a bottle of water. I'll do it.
Oh, so this courage that you're talking about isn't real courage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's liquid courage.
I'll do it. I'll
I'm
do
brave,
it.
but not stupid nor cheap. So yeah, just pump up my price. I'll go check it out. It's
Oh no,
okay.
no. I will give you half a bottle of water for you and the sister to go up that hill. Yes, please. Oh my god.
And Sister Sarah's looking at you like, "Why do I have to go up the hill?"
Yeah.
Well, you said you'd go up with him.
I said, I was just asking a question. I was
Oh.
suggesting that CC should go up the hill and take a look around if he's so confident that that's the best, perspective. I think that Calvin's, suggestion that the rest of us, following your advice, Ned, should
Fine.
sneak around the side.
Fine. Ned, do we have an agreement? You're gonna give me another half bottle
yeah,
of water?
yes. Oh, 100%.
Well,
No, this.
if that's out of your personal reserves, Ned, it
Oh,
can't
it'll
come
be out of
of
our
the.
personal reserve. No, that for me will give me plenty of entertainment to be worth that half a bottle. I
Hold on,
guarantee
so
you.
let me understand this. The good daughter of Christ is not one to be, resourceful,
with
giving.
you.
Like now
No.
she wants Ned to pay for my fee. You should all pay for it. Ned, you're a solid gentleman.
Oh,
I
thank
don't,
you.
think, I don't think you understand how it works. There's constant bucking up your price and bucking up your price. Well, that's just deception and greed. That's a sin, mister.
No, that's capitalism.
Which, if we're talking about sin, but that's I'm going to digress. Now, I'm perfectly willing, Calvin, to follow you around over here. And I think, Mr. CC, you need to just accept that you are not going to be jacking up the price every 5 seconds. All right? You agreed to 2. You agreed to 2 bottles, and I'm going to hold you to your word.
No, that's not what I agreed, but it's okay. I have an agreement with Ned. He's paying me another extra half a bottle. I'll go up the hill. What do I need to do? Like, what's the dice thing here?
Nothing. You're going to go up the hill while the others go around the side, and we'll see what happens based on this particular series of events.
And we're sneaking. We're sneaking around, right? We're not.
If you want to, yes.
Well,
so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll wait for him to get up to the top of the hill before we start sneaking. Or I'll suggest that that's what we do. Like, you very quickly realize that Ned has been talking almost entirely in sarcasm. He's going to pay you money, but that's because he thinks that anything dangerous is going to be way too busy with CC, that we'd sneak around even easier.
Well, you might not want to double cross Curse Chaser, just so you know.
Oh no! He's going to give you the thing, but like Aussies speak English and sarcasm. That's just the language of the people.
All right. So then we will go with Felipe and what the Curse Chaser sees when he gets to the top of the hill and looks down into this peat bog. And then we'll go with the rest of you, and you can make a group stealth roll if you'd like with advantage because of the distraction that is being provided by the Curse Chaser.
Nice.
And that would be
his
a teamwork.
grumbling as he walks up the hill.
That would be a teamwork skill roll. So that would be the whoever the primary is would be the one who rolls last, and then the other two the secondary. That would be the person that those people would roll and then figure it out from there. So
you're saying the two people with the best 2.
So the best person would be for the primary for the action. So between the 3 of you. We've got.
I'm not particularly stealthy.
It looks like it might actually be Sister Sara that is in charge
yeah,
of this
baby.
one. Yeah. Sister Sara is the best one. So the other 2 of you, Ned and Calvin, would be the secondaries. So you guys would make in a stealth roll, disregarding your lack of proficiencies in it, and you just make your roll.
Mm-hmm.
If you succeed, then we're going to add a +5 per degree of success to the Sarah's roll.
I did not succeed. Sorry,
Okay.
Sister Sara.
I did succeed, but just barely.
Okay. So 5 to the threshold for Sister Sara. So that would be, and now you're up to a 65 for your stealth roll.
Am I rolling with advantage or not?
You are rolling with advantage because of the distraction, and we'll. I'm having to do this roll now, but we're going to jump over to Felipe and talk about what's going on.
Great. So that is a you added 5 to my thing?
Yes. So 65 is the new number.
Yeah, I got that. I'm just trying to figure out if it's an amazing success. It is not. It is a great success.
Okay, so 2 degrees of success. All right, good.
Nobody complaining now about my price, huh?
All right.
Sir,
I
don't see how you contributed.
So, sir, or CC as we're calling you, apparently, you get to the top of the hill, kind of in whatever grumbly state or whatever you are when you get to the top of the hill. When you get to the top of the hill,
I'm just minding my own business, going up the hill. I am trying to be as sneaky as possible. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Getting up to the top of the hill, you get up there and you look down into this peat bog, what you see is mud. Actual mud. There's clearly a water source somewhere that is making the dirt around here kind of muddy. You can see a pump laying on the ground somewhere near about where they're going to pop out when they follow the tracks around, and the indentations in the mud of some water skins, but the water skins are not there. There's also some other gear, some other stuff, sort of component pieces. They're not full gear, just pieces of things laying around that look like they've been scattered. But more than that, what you do see when you look down is an entire troop of kangaroo that are standing there trying to... some of them are kind of semi-submerged in the mud. Some of them are sitting by the side of it. Some of them are playing around with little baby kangaroos. But they're all clearly having come here to try to extract the water from the mud, as it were. And you're going to have to make a stealth roll for me as you see all these kangaroo, and they're going to be looking at you. So I'm going to make a roll on my side, and we'll see what happens when we have this opposed stealth roll.
Okay.
So stealth is an agility-based stat, in your case 50. You are proficient in it, so you just make a D100 roll, and you don't have any items that add any kind of advantage, so we'll just go with that. In fact, I will give them advantage because you are on the top of a hill looking down on them, which makes it a lot easier for them to see you because of the sun. So, go ahead and make your roll and tell me whether you succeed or fail.
Can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Are those kangaroo regular-looking kangaroos?
They are regular-looking kangaroos, but regular-looking kangaroos is still a sort of subjective term. They are nasty and vicious-looking. They look like they can rip you in half with their giant claws on their hands. And
I'm saying they're not supernatural in any way.
they don't seem to be supernatural in any way, shape, or form. No, they don't seem to have glowing eyes or have strange things coming out of their skins or anything like that.
They're just feral kangaroos.
How many kangaroos are we talking about here? Are we talking like 40 or are we talking like a dozen?
Roughly somewhere between a dozen and 2 dozen. So roughly about 15 to 20-ish.
All right. So I'm rolling my dice. How much do I need? Below 50?
You need to get below 50 to succeed.
All right. I got a 23.
Whoo, you got lucky because they would have seen you if you had gotten a success. So 2 degrees of success for them and for you.
Not
meaning
luck. It's
it's creator fiat. Yeah. Yeah, no, so you both got 2 degrees of success, so they don't see you because the ties would go to the player, being that they are not supernatural creatures. They are not cursed creatures, so therefore ties go to you. So luckily, as you pop up, you see all of them. One turns to look at you, and it's like got some mud on its hands. Turns to look at you, but you drop down behind the hill just in time for it not to see you. And so it stands there for a moment, ears kind of like doing a thing, and some of the others look in the same direction. And then they go back to messing around in the mud about the same time that these 3 come around the bend and enter this peat bog area where these kangaroos are all hanging out.
Can I signal for them to be quiet?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so kids, please be quiet, okay? There's a whole pack of kangaroos over there. I know, and you getting me killed.
So the 3 of you come around. You can see this pump sitting on the ground next to the mud. It's supposed to pump the sort of wet mud out and try to siphon it out so you get the water instead of the mud, sort of filter it, as it were. The indentations of water skins that were on the ground right here, and then just a bunch of component pieces laying around. But more than that, you see roughly half a dozen, slightly less than half a dozen kangaroo hanging out in the peat bog.
Far away from us, are they? How far away from us are they?
They're pretty close, but far enough away that you could potentially explore. You guys did pretty decently on your stealth roll that you could, in theory, move a little closer and not necessarily trigger them. But this whole peat bog is not that big. It's kind of a small pond.
So I guess I would want to just kind of look around in and amongst them and like around the edge of the peat bog and just see if I can see Jethro.
Sure. Make a perception roll for me because you're kind of thinking, that he's somewhere laying on the ground?
Yeah. Or maybe one of them has him in, a piece of his boot in their mouth or something. And
got it.
That would answer that question. I don't see Jack. Is what I don't see.
Okay, you don't see Jethro. You
I'm
don't see
so
anything.
absorbed by the natural beauty of the scene that
The natural beauty of the scene. Aren't they supposed to be like killer kangaroos?
Yeah, they are. She's frankly, just awed by God's ability to create such beautiful and yet terrifying creatures.
Well then, sister, why don't you go say hello?
You're not there. I can't talk. Are you talking to me from up there?
That would be a problem. Are you talking to her from
Please
the top of the hill?
Are you yelling from the top of the hill? Cece?
That's a good point. And as the comic creator, we all have this little shell that one another.
Beautiful.
That's one of those word bubbles that's just in your head.
Oh yeah, the little dot dot dot. Yeah, I love it. My question is very important. Are these kangaroos red or gray?
I don't know the significance between the colors, so I can't answer that question properly.
I didn't ask you whether or not you know the significance. I asked what color they are. All right. As the residential Australian, let me tell you a little bit about red and gray kangaroos here. Gray kangaroos are a little bit more docile and tend to flee predators when engaged. Red kangaroos are bastards and will actively kill people. Specifically, one of the main tactics that red kangaroos use to kill anyone who's trying to pursue them is to get into water or mud very similar to the one that they're in and quite literally drown you. That's what they do. One of the things you are taught as a child in Australia is if you see a kangaroo in any body of water, you stay as far away from that thing as possible. It's the reason it's not running is because it doesn't need to anymore. Doesn't matter what's chasing it. Could be a snake, could be dingoes, could be whatever. That thing will die if it goes into the water with the kangaroo, especially if it's a red one. So, my question.
Just imagine that they're all standing on Jethro, pushing him underneath the mud.
Yeah, so they're not just being cute and taking a bath. Is that what you're saying?
No, if it's a troop of gray kangaroo, I mean, a shot from a gun might scare off a bunch of them, except for like the ones that are on lookout or the ones that are like protecting the rest of the troop. But if they're red kangaroos, every single one of them will arc up, and that'll make it for a bad time.
They're all pretty. So GM, what color are they?
With that information,
that's so
I mean, they could also just be covered in mud, and we can't tell. But like,
thought Scott could have answered in a very logical way. Red means danger.
Well,
that's very true.
The thing is that these are gray. These would be gray then, based on this information. But that doesn't mean that there's not, like you said, one or two alphas among them that would protect them.
Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, knowing that they're grays, I'll say that all right, listen. As far as we can tell, maybe Jethro's in amongst them.
I can't hear, right?
No, you won't be able to hear them. Yeah. Maybe Jethro's in amongst them. Okay. We could probably make our way towards the pump, but we'd have to clear it first. I reckon maybe a couple of gunshots, scare whoever we can away, and maybe try to take out one or two of the guys that stay behind.
Okay. So, Sister Sara looks at you, and she kind of reaches deep inside her habit. You think maybe she's itching herself, but she pops out a little thing in her hand, and she looks at you, and she goes, "Anybody got a match?" And she goes, "That's my whispering voice. Does anybody have a match?" And you see she has a stick of dynamite in her hand.
Okay.
Because everything I have is something you have to light.
Yeah. You have like, it's not necessarily matches, but you can use like flint and steel, that kind of business can kind of like crack a rock against something and you get it.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll just empty out the bullets in my gun and use the catch from that one to.
Cool.
I mean, if you want to do that, I'll accept it.
Oh, but before we do, I'm gonna signal CC, like just wave the hat. And then just do this.
Well, I'll follow heed. I'll take heed, and I'll lower myself.
Okay.
while looking at
And
them.
and then I'll light Sister Sarah's dynamite.
Great. I'm gonna try and throw it in
Mm-hmm.
as close to the center of the group as possible.
Okay.
Sorry. When you just said great, and then there was this pause, I sat there and went, please throw it. Great.
As soon as I saw the whole group lighting that up, I literally turn around and try to go back down the hill, sort of looking for cover.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
There we go, yep.
So
Yeah.
you can make an agility roll to see if you can throw it to exactly where you want the target, where you want it to land. If you
It's a great
don't, that
success.
doesn't mean okay. You got a
It's
great
a great
success.
success. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then it landed exactly where you wanted it to land. If you had failed, it would have landed somewhere else, and we would have rolled some kind of roll to see where it had landed. But it landed exactly where you wanted it to be, which was to cause the maximum amount of explosive carnage to the things as possible.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
Before Scott decides to play this on us, I'd also maybe have suggested not doing it near the actual pump that we need to siphon
Oh
water
yeah,
that we
no,
need for
absolutely.
survival.
The pump.
Just to be clear.
I don't know. I actually, the way he
The
described
kangaroos
it, I
are
actually
away
thought
from
was
the
off
pump.
to the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I imagine. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
Is Ollie still with us? Is he like?
He is. He is standing right. He was offering to go up the
I'm
hill
gonna hold
earlier when you were fighting, and no one.
His little ears together.
Yeah. Back when you were having this argument over who would go up the hill, he offered to go like 3 times, and nobody was listening.
Yeah. Well, he's 10.
Yeah. Shh. Silence, child.
So,
All right.
how far exactly am I from the group, Scott?
So sliding back down the hill, you can come around to them, but you are a little bit away. You're what we would call sort of long range away, like 3 movements away from them. But we're not in combat, so that doesn't matter. It just take a little bit of time to travel over to them.
No, I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, like, I cover myself because I saw that
Yeah.
they were
Mhm,
throwing
mhm.
dynamite.
The hill will certainly help as to protect you from any kind of
Okay.
shrapnel that might come flying over
Alright.
the hill.
Yep.
So you're actually in a good place. You're probably in a better place than them, in all honesty.
Well, that's the high ground.
And I'm assuming after I flung it, we would all kind of
Yeah,
do
go
and
hide as
get
best as
whatever
possible.
cover
Yeah.
whatever we could get.
So it goes off with this tremendous explosion, and there's this wet sound that goes off with it as mud goes flying all over the place. Some of you get splattered with mud. Then some of you get splattered with bits of the blood and viscera as it all comes down. The gravity pushes it outwards and around. Some of it lands on your hat, Felipe. Some of the bloody viscera. The kangaroos make this sound that is the best that you can describe as a scream, both in surprise and terror, as they all just kind of, a lot of them go kabloom, and there's pieces all over. Many of them start scattering and running away. In fact, all of them that are still alive scatter and run away from this explosion. But unfortunately, you notice that none of the little ones make it out. It's all adult ones that take off. And so as the smoke clears and the sound dies down, a kangaroo runs right past you, Felipe, just right past your character. But it doesn't stop. It just goes on its way, just taking off in fear. As the smoke clears, there's this gap in the puddle in the mud, or this sort of a crater in the mud where this explosion went off. There's lots of mud covering everything now. The pump and stuff is all kinds of thrown around. But you can see now that you have a clear peat bog to investigate. Roll a luck for me, actually. Sister Sarah. No, just Sister Sarah for throwing this.
Okay.
Roll luck for me.
That is a fail.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Okay. Now back to what you guys were saying.
So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look over to this group of stooges, and I'm gonna be like, "Are you guys insane? Motioning? Are you crazy? Like seriously, dynamite." So, and I'm gonna wait for them to signal something back. Am I supposed to go down? Am I supposed to stay where I am? Because at this point, I'm ready to turn my back on them and leave, and still get paid, by the way.
So pretty much all we're seeing is you doing this.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Sister Sarah's just gonna like tromp out into the mud and start like kind of kind of digging through it, clearing off the pump and the gear and things like that, and just trying to find, traces of Jethro if we can find them.
Yeah. So, what I'm going to ask what other people are doing actually before I start answering that. What are the rest of you doing now?
Well, now I'm watching her go down, right?
Yep. You're watching her go down to the speed bog.
Still far from the group.
Now, what I know about like how big of like a suck hole a peat bog would be.
Yeah, roughly. I mean, this is going to be probably knee
safe
deep.
To walk on.
Yeah, you could walk in there. Probably not get too bad.
All right. As soon as I see, I assume, like I see Sister Sara going down, I'm gonna walk towards her.
Okay.
I'll make my way.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay back with Ollie, and watch Sister Sarah.
Watch
after this poor kid. Yeah.
The 10-year-old kid came with you. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch after. I'm gonna console him a little bit, and tell him his dad isn't blown up.
It's part of the reason why Ned's probably watching his language, because there's a 10-year-old kid standing there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
PG-13.
I mean,
PG-13.
Well, yeah, no. It's entirely because Ned, while he doesn't give two hoots about like Jethro, Ned is terrified of Ollie's mum. Absolutely, yeah. It's just yeah, no. All right. I am going to, presuming the explosion has maybe attracted other attention as well, I'm going to just stay on watch while the sister goes forward.
Okay. All right. We'll deal with you in a minute then. All right. So Sister Sarah's going to be looking around the mud and then joined by the Curse Chaser. And so are you going to also be looking around in the mud there, Curse Chaser, or are you just going to be kind of trying to figure out what the hell just went down?
I was going to say, can I talk to her now?
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Close enough to each other?
Yep, you can talk to her while she's searching around in the mud.
So let me ask you, hey, so Sister Sara, as a religious, very kind, caring, giving person, what the actual F were you doing throwing dynamite into this? What's it's called? What's the name of the
peat bog?
Peat bog. Okay, I didn't know what the peat bog is. Don't forget, everyone watching, I'm from Brazil. English is my second language, so I'm trying my best.
Swamp.
Yeah.
Swamp. Yeah. Gotcha. But seriously, Sister Sara, what were you guys thinking throwing dynamite in here?
Well, I guess we could have just waited for you to shoot them one by one, but that just seemed like the easiest, fastest way to clear them out. So why don't you just start digging and let's see if we can't find some traces of Jethro. See if we can figure out.
Why would I want to shoot down kangaroos? They're so cute and adorable.
No, they are deadly, terrifying monsters. I don't know where you're from. Exactly, are you from, Cece?
Far away from here.
Far away from here. Well, let me just tell you something. These things, and she kind of points, she like tries to like find like a little, maybe an arm with like a little claw on it. One of these things here can just fuck you to shreds in skins. I've seen it happen. You get 2 or 3 or 4 of them, well then you're just out of luck. But you get that many of them together in we call it a troop for a reason. Oh, you gotta stay away from them. Now get serious and let's start looking for whatever we can find about Jethro.
Well, do I look around? I try to see some footsteps, but do I find anything?
Sure. There's while there's mud on everything, the mud actually has potentially helped you out because it's thrown a bunch of the mud around, which has cleared up the center of the peat bog. So you can find, without making any rolls, you can easily find that there is not a body at the bottom of this peat bog. There is clearly not someone laying there being drowned in the mud or having been drowned in the mud. But you can make some perception skill rolls for me to see if you can see anything. So perception would be under your instinct. So you'll want to roll under the number that is on the instinct for your character.
Is a regular success.
Okay, mine is 50, right? So
yeah.
As long as you're proficient in it. If you're
Yep.
not proficient in something, you're at a disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yes. But I think everyone everyone in this group is proficient in perception, so that should be fine.
Thank goodness.
Is that true?
I am, and I
What's
have a
perception?
+5 in mine, so it says skills +5.
Oh, I guess Calvin is not proficient in perception. Sorry,
I don't
Calvin.
think I am, but I could be
No.
wrong. It's okay.
No, you're not.
I
You
haven't
are
used
not.
it yet.
So
Yeah.
I have to roll below a 55. That's
Correct.
Scott?
Correct. Yep.
All right, so let's roll. Bada boom, bada bing. 89.
89. You find a whole lot of mud, some claws of kangaroo, but nothing helpful for the group at this time.
Okay, I'm gonna turn over to Sister Sarah and be like, "So, job well done. You could have just, taken your gun to the air and scared them away, so we would actually be able to see anything in this mess. But no, you chose to blow it up. Congratulations."
And Sister Sarah got a single degree of success.
Okay. Felipe, make another D100 roll for me. This is going to be on your luck, and so I am looking at that. So tell me what your roll was.
Okay, I rolled a 28.
Oh, success. Okay, then. You're fine. Okay, so Sister Sarah, you did actually manage to find something. You found, while you were digging around, you found the signs of Jethro. He was definitely here. What you can see is that he seems to have, some other people seem to have approached or something. He seems to have fallen to the ground and was drug away. But there are no kangaroo tracks that follow. So whomever or whatever drug him away was dragging him away without feet print. He just seems to be being drug away, maybe by magic. That's the only real thing. Like, there's no signs of any living thing having drug him away from here, but you can see where he fell into the mud and where he was drug away. Definitely no kangaroo tracks. But you also find, while you're sort of searching around the mud, a 6-inch long porcupine spine that was nearby where you find the signs of the person being drug away.
How many inches long?
6 inches. Also known as 15 centimeters in the Australian situation. And Brazilian system.
That's a porcupine. So I'm going to sort of like peer around the curse chaser, and I'm going to be like, Ned, come over here, take a look at this.
Okay, so Ned's gonna come over and have a look. Again, just kind of like kept to watch. Nothing seems to have kind of approached, so he's gonna make his way forward. As he does so, he looks at a few things. He firstly looks at the drag marks. Now, we can see Jethro's marks, but we can't see tracks that seem to be following them.
Correct.
Or side by side, just to indicate what's pulling him.
Yep.
Here's a question for you, Scott. Does it look like an animal has been dragging him backwards over its own tracks?
Maybe.
I am Australian. I know what to look out for. I think I know what this is. That's fine. I'm not gonna.
You've got a lot of deadly animals there.
No, it doesn't look like anything's dragging it back over its own tracks. There's actually no tracks aside from his own.
Because that's how crocodiles grab people.
Yeah,
they literally grab you and then drag you back, which means the actual tail mark, which would be indicated of it, would just be just the body of that person.
No, you don't find no, there's no tracks like that. There's absolutely no other tracks.
The second thing I'll do is I'll pick up the porcupine spine and be like, that's really weird because there are no porcupines in Australia. We have echidnas.
Yes,
Crazy.
And that's, as you pick it up and look at it, it is actually an echidna spine.
Oh, well, this is an echidna, Sister Sarah. Come on. It's not a porcupine. This isn't Brazil.
Scott, can I take a look? Can I grab the spine and use my academic skill to see if I have any knowledge about?
Yeah. So
echidna
here's what's been
spine
happening in the
size?
background. Yeah, go ahead. And you want to take it from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's what happened, though, Sister Sarah. You felt something strange as this thing, as you picked it up. You felt something weird, a strange feeling inside. Then, Ned, you felt a feeling, a strange pull, and now, as you hand it off, it goes away. And as it reaches your hand there, Calvin, you also feel this feeling, this dark feeling. You want to make your academics roll to see if you can figure out something about it?
Did they say anything when they felt something? Like, did you guys comment on?
They didn't even notice it till now. Now they're starting to notice. Wait a minute, there was something.
I'm getting
with
suspicious
that.
as Chaser looking at it? Like,
I'm skilled in academics, so I roll with advantage, right?
You are skilled, so that gives you a +5, which makes it 65. You actually have advantage from this on this roll because of your dark knowledge.
Oh, okay.
I was actually gonna ask if I could roll dark knowledge as well.
You can, yes.
Once I feel it.
Yeah.
So I rolled a 4, so I have like.
Woohoo! That's
yeah, I rolled really well.
That's an amazing success.
That's good. That's good.
Luckily, I had advantage because my first roll was not so good. It was in the 90s. So.
Gotcha. So,
4.
as you look at this thing, you're not sure why or how or what it's supposed to mean, but it contains some kind of dark energy, some kind of corruption, as it were. And you will actually take 2 corruption as you hold this thing in your hand.
Well, I didn't hold it, so you know.
Do we have any corruption?
You
So
do
I'm
not.
at 2?
You do not.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at 2.
Yeah.
I can handle 2.
Yeah. So, no, you would have. So this is mechanically you all did for a brief moment have 2 corruption, but as you handed it off, it went away. So that's why you felt it, and then it was gone. You felt it, and then it was gone. And now that Calvin is holding it, he's holding on to this corruption as he's accepted this item.
Wait, is anybody talking about this corruption? Like, seriously, you guys are not feeling anything important? Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna ask the group, guys, you know, a porcupine spine or whatever it's called here in this dog shaking land, okay? It seems a very strange thing to be found in the middle of the desert. Are you guys feeling anything weird at all about this? Because we're kind of leering into my territory here with no track marks and this thing just lying around.
I felt a little woo-woo, I have to admit.
No, you
Yeah.
should Hail Marys.
With my amazing success on academics roll, I can assure you that my experience in treasure hunting, that this has been touched by supernatural dark powers. This spine is 100%.
Now we're talking. I'm gonna get myself a nice sack of water. I like the sound of that.
So Ned is actually also a retired curse chaser. What do I know about objects of this variety from this region?
Cool. This is actually an interesting thing. You are, in fact, a retired curse chaser from this area. There are stories around here of echidna-like entities that people have seen from time to time. Essentially, these sort of porcupine-like, these echidna-like man things that people have said that they've seen, usually protecting sources of water, usually underground sources of water. But more than that, there's kind of this around here. There is actually a collective of aboriginals, like Aborigine peoples, who have a water source, and they supposedly have a guardian echidna spirit that protects it, which everyone assumes is something else. But that's only amongst the curse chaser community. The regular population does not have these stories or share these stories or know anything about them, but you, as a curse chaser, are aware that there's this idea that the Aborigines out here may or may not know something about an echidna person.
Maybe you should form the group about it. Maybe do share.
I will indeed. I'll turning around, he'll say, looking at these echidna spikes, the indigenous Aussies that used to be around these parts, they used to have like these tall, kind of spiny creatures, humanoid kind of things. They say they used to protect the water sources, but while I was doing work here, they just turned people into pin cushions pretty quick. Why one would be around here and need to drag off poor Jethro? That's at this point he notices Ollie and he says, I'm sure Jethro's fine. I mean, look, if these things wanted to do harm to him, they could have done it here and left his body here. But yeah, I'm sure he's all right.
Yeah, I'm sure too, man.
From
Hey there, little
above,
fella.
from above the hill,
head.
looking down into this peat bog, you hear a voice say, "I don't think he's fine."
Okay, we look over to the direction of the voice.
Yeah,
Looking
I
up-
holster my gun at the same time.
You see 3 individuals, 2 male, 1 female, that seem to be, they're darker skinned, they seem to be hardened warriors, as it were, and they stand there looking at you wearing a series of feathers and mostly feathers, but like these masks as well. They look to be some kind of bird-like thing, these feathers, giant bird feathers, and they're standing there looking down at your group. They're wearing these fur, so kangaroo fur, human fur, can't really tell, like human hair, shoes, and they're looking down at you with these cloaks of feathers and masks.
Okay.
Are they
Well,
on the top of the hill that
well,
Cece
they're
was
up.
supposed to be?
Yeah, but on the other
monitoring?
side. Yeah, on the other side of
Okay.
it, though. Yeah.
Well, I turn over to Calvin and say, "You're up. Go do your job."
All right, fine. I give Ollie a pat on the head, and I'll make my way up the mountain to greet these people. I'm always in the mood to meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tromp along behind him.
I'm staying back with Ollie. I'll look after him.
All right. Ned will kind of travel in the middle of the
Okay.
pack.
Sort of halfway between.
Yeah.
Okay. They you see them as they approach you, Calvin. They seem to pull out these like little blow dart tube things or something, but you can see that they have in their hand, one of them at least has in their hand one of these echidna spines that you were holding as well. So he's holding something similar as you approach. But they don't take any actions to stop you or like movements like they think you're coming at them with, malice, because you don't have your weapons drawn. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna show that I also have one of these spines and sort of like motion at the head and be like, what do you know about this other than the dark energy that I can feel?
Your friend. We think maybe your friend is the one.
Our
There
friend is
was-
the one.
There was some who were out here, and we don't know. We just heard that they were coming out here, and then they didn't return. When we went to investigate, we found them all dead, and many of these, which we use, and you can see that theirs is a little different. Theirs has some gumminess on the end of it.
Their spine, their echidna spine.
Yeah, which we use, but these were from one of those creatures. We followed to come here, and we were nearby when
So
I assume
are you
you
guys
made the
talking-
large explosion. And he waves at like
Uh-huh.
all of the mud and guts everywhere.
And Sister, can the other 2 guys hear this? Or are we
Yeah,
far
yeah,
enough
they can
away that
hear.
they
They
can't
can hear. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, am I hearing any of this? No, right? I'm far away that I'm not with Ollie.
You can hear it. It's really hard for you to catch nuances of the words, but you can hear the basic gist of what they're talking about.
Let me just say what I'm doing exactly at this moment. I'm, putting Ollie behind me, and I have my hand on my gun, but it's still on the holster.
Sure. Do you want to make a charm roll there, Calvin? See if you can be all charming and
Yeah,
friendly with these guys?
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to get share a description of Jethro to see if that's who they're talking about
Sure.
as part of this. So I will do a charm roll. I'm skilled in +5, so under 55. Let's go. Normal success.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to ease up a little bit, and he puts the one that has the spine out, puts it in a little pouch at his side. And they lift up their masks, and you can see that they are darker skinned under it as well, under the mask. You can see their faces now. They look at you.
Okay, so let's get this conversation started, guys. This person or this thing you've been tracking, does it look like Jethro, and then I proceed to describe Jethro as we know him from our community. Did you see anybody that looked this way?
We did not, but we've not seen what caused the deaths and damage. We just saw the bodies of our friends.
Oh, they were from your group. I'm very sorry for their passing.
Well, thank you. They did
Well,
have one
thanks.
with them, it seems. One who was about the height that you describe of your friend.
So our friend Jethro was with your friends when your friends were killed.
So it might seem.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Jethro's an excellent person. He's a very good person, very good man. I must say, he's a benefactor to us all. I'm sure he
It's
was trying
true.
to help them.
Yeah, he found me out here when I had a little bit of heat stroke and took me into the community. So I know him as a good man as well. But this is certainly, we certainly haven't interacted. I've never, at least I, as sort of a newcomer, haven't interacted with your group of people before. So I'm sorry to hear that there's been lives lost. You can see that boy down the hill. That's the gentleman I was describing is his father, and we've been worried about him, so we came out here looking for him. We don't mean any harm. We're just trying to get to the bottom of where he's at.
Oh, this is a family matter.
Yes, that's his cousin right there.
And they talk to each other for a moment, and then they say, well, then you should probably come with us.
I was gonna say,
Okay.
when Calvin pointed to the boy, I started to bring the boy up the hill with me. Just wanted to put that out there so we're not that isolated from everything that's going on.
Ned's remaining quite quiet. He doesn't have bad relations or anything like that, but he is scarred, and he kind of has very, very poor diplomacy skills. So he's more listening and taking all the stuff in, letting Calvin do the legwork. He will sort of turn and ask for permission to travel, like through their lands, and while we're searching for Jethro, or at least ask who they can ask for the blessing to travel beyond what we have as our own like water source.
Mm-hmm. For the purpose of finding your friend.
Yeah.
He's not my friend, but I'll help them find them.
He
Okay.
nods and says, for family, yes.
No, for money,
Well, listen, guys, I'm a good
for pay.
I've got a good way of reading people and a good sense of these people. They seem like nice people. I think they're trying to help us out. I think we should go with them.
I definitely agree. Is there like a checking people out? Do I trust them roll?
I was just about to say that.
There isn't really like an insight kind of thing. There's if they try to lie to you, then you can make some resolve rolls, but they haven't tried to lie to you in any way.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah. They seem,
So,
as far as they've said so far, they seem fairly genuine.
I had something similar to what Sister Sarah was saying. I was actually wanted to talk to the guy myself and ask him what's in it for him, what he's looking for.
What's in it for him?
Yeah, like why does he want to help us? Like, why are you doing this?
Because maybe you can help us find what killed our friends.
Ah, I see. So you want to employ my services as well?
As CC says that, Ned is gonna shoot like the filthiest of glares.
We do not have need of services. We will simply guide you to where the others were killed, and perhaps you can see what we cannot see.
All right, lead the way then.
And so you six walk for another couple of hours, following in the general direction of the drag marks. And as you're going, all of you make a perception roll for me as you're walking along with these individuals.
so I don't have that skill.
So you would roll a disadvantage, meaning that you would just make
Sweet.
that you'd make that roll essentially twice with that extra tens die and go for the higher of the two numbers.
Yep. Fail for me, obviously.
All right.
Hello, Rama.
Okay.
Failed.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Last one. Fail.
Okay. None of you notice. As you are walking through the desert, I'm gonna give it to you all because you all failed, so not one of you gets to shine in this moment. But as you're walking through, it takes you nearly the entire time you're walking to the destination to realize that in the sand where you walk, there's only the footprints of you five, like you four and Oliver. There are not footprints of the people that are walking with you. They are following the similar path to the drag marks. So you can see the drag marks, and that's when you notice, wait a minute, hold on. Because whoever's in front of this group or near the front of this group starts realizing that they can step in the dirt and not leave a track behind.
But we actually see their foot hit the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And
And there's the shoe seems to displace or soft enough that it doesn't really affect the sand as it lifts up.
Gotcha. Those are very unusual shoes. You seem to leave hardly any trace. You walk very safely on this earth.
And that's all they say in the matter. They don't respond.
That's what we get for perception rolls.
But coming around a bend in rock, you notice that there's a carving in the rock. It tends to stand out. It's tall, but you can see that it's kind of carved like a frog. It seems to be in front of what appears to be an underground cavern, like that somebody made chips and stuff in the rock that makes it look like a frog. But on the ground are 3 dead individuals, obviously of the same group as these ones that came to that you're traveling with, because they have the similar tone of skin, as well as slippers, cloaks, and masks made of the feathers and a hair like these individuals have. They also have been pierced all the way through with several of these echidna spines. They're a little bit longer than the ones you have. Not that much. They're about 8 inches or whatever that is in centimeters, because I don't know how to convert on the fly like that. But
That's
they
24 centimeters.
That's how many?
That's about 24 centimeters.
24 centimeters long, these spines sticking deep into their bodies. They are laying around like they were in some kind of scuffle. Yeah.
Were there any footprints around here? What happened to the draggy trail?
The draggy trail does appear to have stopped being drug, and then there were 2 legs, and then there was all of this commotion, so it kind of gets lost. And then you see 4 going down into the tunnel.
Frog cave?
Yeah.
So you said two legs. Are any of them of one big and one small, like Jethro?
Yes. For a moment, that's what you see. That is what the 2 legs. But when the 4 go down, it is 4 weird paws or something, claws, like these sort of footprints that are not a human but an animal. So an animal left here.
Interesting.
But one is slightly bigger than the other.
Wait,
So-
one of the. I'm sorry.
One of them is slightly bigger than the other 3. So one of them is slightly
One
bigger
of
than the
the
other 3.
animal paws. And Jethro's have disappeared.
Yes.
Well, I turn to Sister Sara and I ask her very, very seriously, what does your God have to say about this?
I beg your pardon? I think that he would say, go with caution.
Yes.
Go with caution and protect your friend, is what my God would say.
Very wise, that God of yours.
Exactly.
Well, you guys are agreeing for once. This is great.
Sarcastic, yes.
I think
He's speaking Aussie.
Speaking Aussie, fluent Aussie.
I think I think we're starting to put together some possibilities here. So I would like to ask this tribe if they would look after Ollie, who I think should not come down into the cave with us. If they'll stay at the mouth, and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of who's hurt these people.
Hmm.
Can I pull Calvin aside and say, listen, I think the kid should be with us. I think he should look some stuff. He's old enough already to learn the ways of the world. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you ain't that boy's father or mother, and yeah, there ain't no way you're making that kind of decision. I'm gonna say I'm gonna tell Ollie that we need him to like watch our backs while we're down there, make sure something doesn't come in and get us. You know, he wants Ollie to like stand here with his boomerang and kind of make sure nothing like untoward comes up behind us out of the bushes.
Got it.
Good idea. And these people would, I'm sure, stay with you, Ollie.
Well,
before we go,
I think it's my job. I gotta tell Ollie, you know, like if you see something, run. Don't look behind. Just run.
not bad advice. So I'd like to look at the frog image. First of all, I'd like to see how many feet does it appear to have, and
4.
Is it a kind of creature? It appears to have 4 claws kind of feet.
No, it has regular frog
oh.
feet.
A regular frog feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a creature that I would have any information about? Like if I wanted to roll, like
an academics roll to see if you know something about
Yeah.
frogs in Australia.
about this kind of thing.
You can make an
I
academics
don't know.
roll.
Just regular academics, not dark knowledge, right?
No, this would not be dark knowledge. See if you know something about frogs in Australia.
I know, God, almost something, but not quite.
Yeah, fortunately.
The frogs. Did your people now? Is this a something that your people put together here?
Yes. There is at the bottom of this cavern Aguila.
Aguila? What is an Aguila?
A shared water for our tribe, for our people.
I turn to Ned and ask, since you seem to be so knowledgeable about the curses around here, can you care to explain what he's talking about?
I don't know. Could I? The only Gila I know is the lizard. Let's make a roll. Let's make a, what would it be? Academic?
I hope really hard that I didn't pronounce that wrong, and now I'm gonna be flared on the internet. But go ahead and make an academics roll.
Are you
Yeah.
talking about a GILA?
Yeah.
I would call it a Gila. A Gila is what we would pronounce it where I grew up.
Yeah. They're yeah. Good. Yep. Yeah,
Did you succeed?
It's yeah. That is a success, just a regular success.
Woo. Okay.
So
yeah, it like the lizard kind of thing.
No, a water hole thing, sort of shared water thing.
Yep. Okay, yep, I'm with you. Okay, cool. Yeah, he'll describe it as basically an underwater lake, and that generally speaking, these areas are kind of like they're subterranean networks of underwater tablets filled with well, not often creatures and stuff like that, but with obviously what I imagine to be, with the world being so scarce of water, it has been a collecting point for things that burrow, which in Australia is plentiful.
I was gonna say, it's like the cenotes in Mexico, you know, like an underground network of connecting.
It's like an underground spring.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So in terms of it being dangerous initially, no. In terms of what curses might make their residence here, if it's any water, then any and all of them that could get to this place would probably try and do so. And I'll start just rattling them off as we go down. Like I'll just be, there's the bunyip, there's the yowie, there's the giant porcupine. There's you know how the Americans, they have those like bald eagles? They're really cute. You know, the Aussie eagles are like freaking, like clouds that descend upon people and pick up like caravans. Yeah, we've got them. It just starts just like, yeah, talking about all the kinds of nasty.
As we're going down, he's chit chatting. He's just rambling on.
Yeah,
I would have asked the indigenous people before we started walking down. You say that you share this with others. With whom do you share it?
The whole group, the many of us, and
but
the
are there
creatures.
any other creatures or animals or
Sure. Yes.
things? But normally it's safe when you all go down there.
Yes.
You know what, you guys?
This wasn't
Is there anything dangerous in there? Just peel it out, man. Spill it out.
We believe that this creature that killed our friends is down there. So yes.
Yeah, that would be dangerous.
Do you have any idea?
This is a new incident, right? Like this is the first time your people haven't been safe going down to this water source.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see it or anybody else? Has anybody seen it?
We have been waiting to find out what was going on before we came down.
All right. Well, Ned, after you.
All right, Ned, let's go.
I imagine we're up here talking, and Ned's already been walking down.
Yeah, he's like
about all of these things.
It's been echoing up to you, slowly getting like farther and farther away.
Oh yeah. Now as we
you
travel,
can feel the moisture, by the way, as you get past like the sun, where the sun touches. Essentially, you can start feeling the moisture as you go down that cave. That's for you.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. You notice that every now and then Ned's gonna be stuffing like this small handful of like dried leaves just into like the walls and stuff like that. Just wherever I've got like there's a crevice and stuff like that, he'll just like palm like this. Just this small, like, it's almost like a thumb-sized amount, like, just in various places. I'm going to be putting tobacco places.
Smart.
Okay.
Yep.
How further down do we go?
How dark is it?
It is fairly dark. It is dark enough that someone might, if you have a lantern or something, you might want to use it. If you don't, then you guys will have to come up with some way to create light. But it is dark, very dark.
I have a candle.
There you go. That'll be
sure
helpful.
Not another stick of dynamite.
We could craft something,
You're right.
but
Just
I'm terrible at crafting.
I pull out the candle.
Do you keep your dynamite in the same pouch you keep the candles?
No, the candles are like in like a little backpack.
Okay.
Just wanted to check.
Yeah, it's important to check after that godly display of animal love, towards the kangaroo.
Cool. Oh. Yeah, I'll use the flint again from the gun to light the candle. But then at this point, I'll now load the gun.
Got it. Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to continue to try and follow the sound of the water more than anything else.
Okay.
To see if I can find its source.
As you come down, you're starting to follow the smell of the water, the sound of the water, not the smell of the water, the sound of the water. I'm reading a thing for what you find. The first kind of chamber you come into after you go down this tunnel is it's filled with this rancid smell. As you find sort of half-devoured flesh kind of laying around and in this room. It's clearly small animals that have been half devoured, but have been here a little while, so that's a bit strange. Not recent, not like today, but for a bit.
It's not our kangaroo pieces or anything, like pieces of that weren't.
No.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look around. This is starting to get interesting. My character would say.
Upon entering
on the walls, any writings or
no
images?
Well, first off, is it a closed up chamber or is it?
No, it's a chamber that this is going to be a series of tunnels that interlink with each other essentially. So chambers that are linked.
Keep moving. We can still keep
going. Yep, you keep moving. Exiting this chamber and entering the next one, you find the mutilated body of an Aboriginal person, a indigenous person. laying in the center of the path, but has human teeth marks on its body, and it is also filled with these echidna spines, these 8-inch long, these 24-centimeter echidna spines. This looks to
Ned?
be very fresh.
I'm going to unholster my weapon, my peacemaker, before I move forward.
Okay.
I think that Sister Sarah would kind of like, kind of hold the what do you call it? The candle up a little bit over this person and try and see if they're like, you said that there looks like there's like human teeth marks on.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any kind of like claw marks too?
Mm-hmm.
Or is
sure
it
are.
just
Yeah, claw marks that are kind of deep, that are weird. Like they like there seems to be one that matches the paws the paw prints you've seen, and then one that matches like a human hand, like as if somebody were to claw them with their fingertips, but the fingernails were sharp.
This is very disturbing. I must oh boy, catch a moment there and say a little prayer.
I'm
Also,
gonna.
just even slightly concerned about the possibility that there's some sort of an amalgamation, possibly of a not our Jethro, of course, but some other person with one of this whatever this is, this thing.
Ned's gonna like start rifling through whatever remains of like its pockets, pockets or its like jacket or whatever. And as he does so, Ned says, "Yeah, look, sister, we can have as much wishful thinking, but I think we need to be prepared for whatever's ahead. This is definitely one of the cursed, and it's dug its claws deep, not just here in this person, but in this place. We're going into its den. All the bodies of the little critters, all the marks here on the walls. It's making itself a nice, tidy home here, and we're trespassing.
Well,
And
that's why you brought me. So don't forget to pay me when you have a chance.
Do I find anything in the?
You find 3 of these porcupine needles, and you can make a salvage roll to find out what else you find amongst this person's things.
Salvage! I remember salvage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 16. That is a great success.
Okay. Gotta go to that table that I forgot to mark when I was looking at it the other day. Monsters. It's right there. Okay. So that's 2 degrees of success. You find 2 things. This and that. First thing that you find is some wool socks. Wool socks, which give you resilience advantage against weather. Did you want to find component pieces, by the way? I forgot to ask that.
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Well, then I will not roll for your second item, and I will instead roll for 4 component pieces that you find amongst their stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many component pieces is the socks?
Right as I throw it to the ground,
Yep.
so that it's not in my way, you ask me the question that requires the book. Thanks. Okay, wool socks.
Yeah.
Wool socks are 4 component pieces as well.
Look, I didn't make the rules, mate.
4 component pieces, yeah. That's what those are.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah,
we
and
get
then you
this,
found 3 of
moving
those.
buffet going.
I'm sorry, what was that, Felipe? I was talking at the same
Say,
time.
can we get this moving buffet going? We have a curse to chase.
That's fair. But the just to let you know, those component pieces that you have, or not the component pieces, the kidney spine things that you have do make you feel funny. You will have 6 corruption as you hold them.
Wait, all of us?
No,
No,
just the
only-
guy who's holding
yeah.
3 of them in his
Yeah.
hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just
I've got one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think I get how this is working. I am not. I'm just gonna drop I'm just gonna drop these quills, and I'm gonna say that this is my me being a retired curse chaser.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell Calvin. Do you still have that? You still got that echidna quill, mate?
Yeah, of course I do.
Look, I think you need to drop it on the ground. If that bad juju feeling is coming back, and it's stronger with each of these quills. If I didn't know better, I'd say the more of these that you end up in your person, if you follow my meaning, the closer you are to becoming whatever decided to make Tucker out of that.
This isn't my first rodeo, man. How do you think I make money in this world? This is the kind of stuff that I sell all around the world.
I'm gonna drop the 3 things that I've got.
So are those the ones that he took out of the body?
Yeah.
No, those were just in the pocket, the bag of the person.
Okay, so he was carrying some of the cursed ones,
Hmm.
unlike the other people. Sister Sarah's gonna go over and look, and she's gonna look like she's kind of saying like the last rites over him, but she's just really kind of sitting there looking at him hard to make sure he's really dead.
Appears to be very dead. Very,
Okay,
very
good.
dead. You can make a medicine roll though to make sure that he is very dead.
Ooh, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Crit fumble
good at
brings him back
medicine.
to life.
Nope.
That's a fail.
Okay. Yeah, he looks very, very dead.
Okay. Good to know. CC, Lita?
Well, Ned, come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll keep leading. Again, I'm still trying to find water. So
Is my candle the only source of light?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Then I would suggest that I'm going to pull out another candle and give one to Ned, and I'll hold one, so we have a little bit more light.
Okay, Ned's gonna melt the use your candle to melt the bottom of the candle you've just given me, and I'm gonna stick it on my Kubra. So it's got a little candle there.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what miners do. Good thinking.
All right. Now you said the water was Gila, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it the season for the water to be running, or is it the still season?
It's the still season.
Okay. Yeah. So at this point, I'm gonna see if I can look for claw marks and tracks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Make a tracking roll for me. Also, thank you for the correction. I was thinking that I was doing it wrong, and so I appreciate you letting me know about the how to refer to the indigenous peoples of Australia.
No. It's perfectly fine. It's something that you get more exposure to as you are, of course, living and experiencing that life. Okay, so I got a 69, which is nice but not a success.
Okay.
I'm going to use one of my luck.
Okay. And then re-roll that roll.
I'm gonna re-roll that. That is a 20, which is good. So that is a great success.
All right, so you can now follow the tracks a little bit. Now that you're following the tracks, you're doing a better job of getting toward the source of where this thing might be, because the sound has not really been helping you. Moving into the next room, you actually get a puff of air as you're leading this group that temporarily blinds you as you get rock dust into your mouth and face. But you blink it away, and as you blink it away, you see what appear to be long porcupine spines disappearing into the next chamber.
I point my gun in that direction for a few seconds and say, "He's up ahead."
And I unholster my weapon and immediately give chase.
Okay.
There you go.
You're chasing.
This guy finally has some courage.
However,
some real courage. He didn't even ask for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
That's because that's what you're paying me for already. So I'm, as soon as I see it and as soon as I hear Ned saying it's up ahead, let me do my job. You stay back, pretty boy.
So you rush forward. You are not carrying a candle, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
But if if I did, here's the thing, is part of my background information that I've killed a Tsukali in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Because if that's the case, you know where I'm going with this.
I do know where you're going with this. This particular character sheet does not list that particular set of things.
Special abilities, yeah.
Why don't you make a luck roll for me? If you make a luck roll for me, then we will. If you succeed, then you will have been at that point in your life where you have killed.
Then
a
your
Scully.
then your comic book designer power has initiated.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how does luck work?
That's a percentage roll, and you're gonna try to roll under your luck, which in your case is unfortunately only 30.
Okay. All right.
Come on.
Buddy, here we go. 1.
No way, that's awesome.
I rolled a 1.
right.
I can read scream it if you guys want.
It's like
No.
That is a
critical
critical success. That is the
Yeah,
best
critical.
possible roll, and so therefore I shall allow your
It's
creator.
because I built
fiat.
it up.
Yeah.
I jinxed him.
Your
So,
creator
yeah,
powers
yeah.
come in. So this has you
So-
are currently in the storyline after your particular character may or may not have killed it so probably in the
And
past.
just for those watching us, if I kill the Tsukali, that means that I use some of its poisonous blood property to give me night vision. And I can see as well in the dark as I can see in the daytime. So I can clearly make my way towards whatever I caught a glimpse at running off to the next chamber, right?
Yep.
Okay,
And
yep.
so you rush into the chamber. It is dark. The creature in the chamber is roughly 6.5, 7-ish feet tall, 6 feet tall, about 350 pounds or 158 kgs. I actually wrote this one down. 158 kgs. Standing there, thinking that it has the drop on you, but you come into the room and see it preparing to swipe at you. And so we shall begin combat. But instead of being surprised, as we normally would in your case, you will be able to act on your normal initiative. So, I did not leave myself any note space. Cool, just right on the back of the sheet of paper. All right. So,
All right.
what is your initiative? Let's see. Your initiative. Initiative is a static number that everyone has. And so you will, the combat is broken into the 4 action phases, and so you will have your normal turns. I'm going to go with Felipe's unnamed Curse Chaser and the Echidna, and then I'll have all the rest of you join in the second action phase if you rush in to join with them.
Because we're behind.
Yeah. And so I shall do this real fast. I get a number from, I think yours is 8. Is that correct, Felipe? Are we looking at the same character sheet?
My initiative, it says 8, and there's a 3 right next to it, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So that means for an action or combat run is broken into 4 action phases. Each action phase requires more initiative. So on the first action phase, you'll go with the 8, and then a -5 from your initiative. If you still have initiative, then you can take a turn, and then a -5 again. And if you still, then you can. And so faster people with higher initiatives can have more turns in a combat round than people with lower initiative. Yeah. And so you are 8 and 3. I'll just write that down, and then I'm going to write over here creature. And I know that it is these numbers. So I'm just going to get everyone's numbers, though, real fast. So I'm going to CC. All right. Mike, what is Calvin's initiative?
I am 9 and 4.
Okay. 9 and 4. What about Ned?
Also 9 and 4.
Okay. Between Ned and Calvin, who has the higher agility?
I've got 40.
45. Me, 45.
All right. Okay, so we'll go. It's going to go Calvin, then Ned. And what about Sister Sara? I forget.
10 and 5.
10 and 5. So Sister Sara will actually go first. All right. Cool. 10, 5, 9, 4, 9, 4, and then 8, 3. All right. Cool. All right. So you rush into the room there, Felipe, your character all armed and ready. As you rush into the room, you see the echidna thing, this spiny, porcupine-looking thing standing there, its claws out. You can see that it's sort of, there's some part of it that still seems to be a bit human-esque, but it reaches out with this huge claw and it goes to swipe you, but you get to take your turn first. On your turn, you can take 2 complex actions. Attacking is 1 complex action, and you can't attack again unless you have multi-attack. So in this case, I don't think you have multi-attack. You do not. So you'll have to take some other kind of action, which would be something like moving or taking aim or doing some other thing on your turn. So what kinds of things do you want to do as this thing is swiping at you? And we can work out what those look like as far as complex actions go.
It's swiping right at me.
Yes.
So if I were, and pardon my inexperience, so if
That's
I
why
were
I'm
to
asking you.
If I were to start with a dodge or a riposte, would that give me an advantage?
So
when-
those are actually reactions to their attack.
what I was
So you
thinking.
actually
I was just trying to
don't do
get
those
good.
proactively. Yeah, you do them after when they're actually attacking you.
All right. Well, I think my first action would be to quickly, and I mean like glimpse at all my surrounding
Okay.
to see where is this? Where am I? Like, are there any objects around? Are there any like, dead bodies? Anything that could be possibly useful in a fight?
Useful in a fight versus dead bodies. That's a very interesting thing you say that you're looking for.
No, because a dead body can be super useful in a fight. I can
There's-
use it as a shield.
There is a mutilated dead body of an indigenous person over near the edge of the water. You're in a large chamber that appears to be filled with water, and that's the everything that you have. Just large chamber that is mostly water with some non-water area where you're standing, and then a body behind the echidna.
Okay. Does this scanning the room? It takes one of my actions.
That's one of your complex actions. Yeah.
Okay. So my next action will be to immediately go towards the dead body.
Okay, so you're going to try to move past this thing and go to the dead body.
Oh, the thing is right up me.
Yep, it's right up on you. Yeah.
Okay, so nice. So you see, so that's why you guys know what you're doing. So, all right. So naturally, if it's coming right at me, I'll just put my gun up and take a shot at it.
Okay.
At least buy me some time without aiming. That's the thing. Like I know, like taking aim, and I'm just gonna put the gun up.
Yeah.
Like
Taking aim would grant you advantage, so that would be the benefit of it. But you just want to shoot, so it's just gonna be a regular D100 roll, trying to get under a 60 for you.
Under 60?
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Oh my god, I got a 1. I'm definitely gonna get like 93 now. 3, 2, 1. Boom. 56.
Nice. Okay. So 56 is a success. The creature will attempt to shift out of the way as you're shooting it. This is where that dodge comes in. So it's going to try to dodge. We'll see if it gets a 95. Not good enough. Not good enough at all. So that will mean that you shoot it. The bullet comes out of your gun, flies through the air, and pierces it for 1d6 plus 3 damage. I'll go ahead and roll that for you so you don't have to change up your dice roller. For 5 damage is what you do to it. 5 damage. Oh, wait. You're at close range with a peacemaker. Sorry. 10 damage is what you do to it. 10 damage.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Because
That's why I make the big water.
Yeah. The damage scale goes up at that range. So you went up to 2d6 plus 3. So, okay, cool. So bullet goes into it. The creature definitely seems to react to that, and takes some damage. I'm going to take a note of that.
And I'm assuming it not flies back, but at least take some steps back or something, like giving me a little room to
Negative. It does
Staggered.
not.
It does not. It just keeps coming.
No stagger.
Yep.
All right.
And so now we jump to it being able to take an action because I was saying the others will jump in at the second action phase. So the first action phase here, it will continue its claw down towards you, and so this giant claw is coming at you. I forgot something special about it, but that's okay. So where am I looking at? There we go. I was like, what? Claws and 80 is not good enough. 80 is not good enough. So it misses you with its claw, swiping the rocks behind you just next to your head as it comes down, and just rock pieces fall all over you. Yep, as you shift to the side, it just misses you entirely. And now we will -5 from everyone's initiative and let Sister Sara, were you coming into the room?
Yep.
Or were you staying outside of the room?
No, I'm going.
Okay, Sister Sara, you come into the room at this point. Right inside the doorway is your Curse Chaser friend. You see this with your candle as it comes in. You can see the Curse Chaser friend in a fight with a giant, 6 foot, 350-pound monster thing. 6 foot something, 7 foot something monster thing with these spines sticking out of it in all directions. And it just clawed the wall behind your Curse Chaser friend's head.
Okay, so I am going to so I've never used a grappling weapon before, so I can't do 2 attacks, right?
You cannot, no.
So I can either use it to cause damage, or I can try and grapple.
Yes.
Okay. So I am going to pull out my bullwhip. And I'm going to try and stay, because I have reach with that.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and stay back from it a little ways.
Okay.
And I am going to just whip it out, and I'm just going to try and hit it.
Okay.
Hit it with the thing.
Okay. Yeah, taking it out would be an action, and then you can attack it with it as an action.
Yeah, I'm a little oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, I misread that. That is a oh shoot. Okay, that's just a great success.
Just a great success, she says. It's just a great success.
Can I have yelled at her, grab the thing, or something like that to that effect?
You could have, but that was not her choice in that moment.
For dramatic effect.
It also got a great success, even with disadvantage. It rolled 18 or 18, so that is still great success for it. So it actually shifts just fast enough that it misses your attack, misses it, snaps the air right next to where it was.
Okay. So I think that Sister Sara, having not so is it like you said there's water in the middle of the room?
There is.
Is it in the water, or are we
Nope.
all on
we're on the land, the
of
beach right next to it. Yeah, rock next to the water.
Okay. So I'm gonna move, staying on the beach right next to the water. I'm gonna kind of move close to the wall and kind of out of the way of the entry where everybody's coming in, presumably.
Sure.
So I'm moving as far away from it as I can, and making room for Ned and Cal to get on in here.
All right then. So then next would be Calvin.
I'm going in.
All right. So you go in. You don't have a candle, but the Sister Sara does, so you can see what's going on now. You see the same thing that I mentioned before. What do you want to do as you come into this room?
I am going to take aim and take a shot.
You're going to take aim and take a shot at this thing. Got it. Got it.
Hold on a second.
Take aim grants you advantage, so note that.
Oh, okay. I can do that classic.
Well, it is just a normal success, 48 with advantage. So.
Okay. 99. Yeah, it definitely does not get out of the way of your shot. You definitely nail it with your shot. Now you were at short range, so you won't get that benefit of being super close to it. But you still get to do damage for 1d6 plus 3. Do you want me to roll it for you, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 8 damage you do to it.
Yeah, you got to write it down anyway. So.
Yeah. Got it. All right. So your bullet goes through the air, hits it from the side, goes out the other end, leaving this sort of open wound as it goes through. All right. Do you want to do, well, I guess you moved into the room, so that would be what you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm done, I think.
All right, Ned, you enter the room, you see all this going on, but I'm going to remind you that you are a retired curse chaser, and you know something. If this is a cursed creature, this is also a person. So I'm just throwing that out there. And now
Oh
I'm
yeah,
bringing
no.
the table to you.
I was all over this. So I want to notice specifically a couple of things. Like I want to, as I enter, I'm not going to shoot. I'm going to use my whole action to basically observe this creature from top to bottom. Like, is it wearing any remnants of clothes on its person? And more specifically, the size of its feet that it's using as its bipedalness.
Make a perception roll for me.
Oh, that's pretty good. That is a great success.
Oh, yeah, great success. Yeah, absolutely. One of the feet is bigger than the other foot. And that will be your turn.
Yep. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just going to hold on to that.
You now know. Okay.
All right, Felipe, coming back to you, this thing just clawed the rocks right by your head, leaving like little pebbles all up on you. There was a snap of a whip nearby, and then a second gunshot went off, echoing through these chambers. And this thing seems to have been hit by that, but it is still just right on top of you. What do you want to do?
Am I able to go over to the dead body and pick it up?
You can disengage and go run over to the dead body. That is the thing you can do. And you want to pick it up?
Is that one action, 2 actions?
It would be one action to move over to the body. It would be a second action to sort of pick it up.
All right. So those are my actions. I'm going to pick it up as a shield in front of me.
Okay. Going to hold up a dead body of a person that has been murdered in front of you. Make a luck roll for me as you pick up this body that has clearly been punctured with a bunch of these echidna spines.
Okay. Drum roll. 31.
That is a failure, and you can't unfortunately re-roll luck. So, my friend, you will take 8 resilience damage that bypasses your armor and hits you 8 damage, which I think now puts you down to
9. Right?
Yes, it does. 9, it does. Yes. So you're down to 9 hit points. Okay, we'll write that down.
Killed me.
I feel like I got cheated here. Like, why would luck has anything to do with it? Shouldn't be like proficient or fighting skill. Or...
You picked up a body that is full of these little echidna spines. So the question was, did you get poked by one? And the answer is yes.
But that's the thing. I think I could argue that's a skill roll, not a luck roll. Because if I'm skilled enough, I could have picked up the body without getting poked.
Well, we'll move on and we'll discuss that later. Yeah. So the creature growls and turns, and it does rush at you. Actually, no, it's going to rush at Calvin. He's closer and has just shot at it. He's going to move toward you, Calvin, and take a swipe in the air toward you. Getting a success on the swipe at you. So you can either parry or dodge this thing, however you feel fit.
I will take a dodge because I am not good at parrying.
Okay. And so you need to get a success.
I got a success, 26.
Okay, yeah, you got a success. All right, so that's a tie, though. That's a tie, right? So we run into this situation. I'm going to give it to you. No, I'm not going to give it to you because it is a cursed creature, so you're going to take some damage. Yeah.
When I tied with him, it missed.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Ties go to the cursed creatures.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So you are going to take not very much, only 5 damage. That actually does its physical damage, so it actually goes to your armor first. So it's going to shred your armor.
And I have 6 armor to start?
Yes, you did.
So now I have 1 armor.
Yes, it shreds through your 10-bullet mail with its claws, leaving behind this trail of waste of these component pieces that are all loosely connected to each other, leaving just your hat intact.
Okay.
Okay. And that will be its turn. -5 from everyone's initiative. There's none left. So we will end the combat round, start the next combat round with Sister Sara. Sister Sara, there's all this going on.
Excellent. I am going to so it's focused on good old Cal over there, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna try and walk as softly as I can, kind of up behind it, but I'm gonna get my old whip out, and this time I'm going to try and grapple it.
Okay, you're going to try to grapple it with the whip. That seems fine to me. So go ahead and make your wrangling roll.
That is just a success.
That is a failure for me. So that is a successful hit. You grapple it with the whip. How does it tangle it up?
I'm not 100% sure like what all of the things are, but I'd like to try and if I could, like get at least like one of its arms,
Claws
and claws, what do you call them? And just kind of try and jerk on it real hard, and and hold it as fast as I can. So at least trying to take it a little bit out of the game.
Got it. Yes, I will count that.
What's the effect of that? Is it restrained, or how does that work?
It is restrained, and so it is essentially slowed. It has to, well, basically it's restrained, and the only thing it can do is try to break free of the restraint. It can, if people gang up on it and try to attack it, it can do other things based on the proximity to people. But for right now, it has lost sort of most of its functionality to be able to attack anyone because you've got its arm wrapped up, essentially.
Right. I think the one thing that Sister Sara would say is that you, Jethro?
Okay. You say that, and then we'll go to Calvin. Calvin, what do you do now that this thing looks like it's one of its arms at least has been wrapped up by this whip?
I'm going to take out my bullwhip and go for the other arm with a wrangle roll.
Okay, so you want to shift and then try that, or do you want to move and do that, or are you gonna stay right here and up and close and personal this thing? There's no real difference if you don't. It's just a question because I'm
gonna stay where I am. I'm gonna stay on my ground. I'm gonna go for speed of wrangling as opposed to repositioning.
Okay. Go ahead and make you can draw your weapon as one action and then make your attack with the other.
Okay. I am skilled at wrangle, so I get +5. So I have to roll under a 50?
Correct.
But no advantage, correct?
Correct.
Failure, 76.
All right. And as you fail, you luckily notice the spines from this creature as it shifts away from your missed attack. They just barely miss you. It actually has a roll for that, and I rolled, and it failed as well. So you luckily did not get spined.
Okay.
All right. So you miss, it misses, and that.
I think that's my turn, right? So I took out the weapon. Yeah.
Ned comes to you. This thing is partially wrangled.
Okay. Did it have any clothing or anything like on its person when I was inspecting last round?
No clothing of any kind.
Okay. I am going to try something desperate, but not necessarily smart.
Okay.
I like the sound of it.
I like the sound of the best things ever.
So you watch as Ned sort of walks up to the partially wrangled creature. He takes off his hat because he doesn't want his hat to get wrecked, so he kind of puts it on a rock. As he steps up, he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a crowbar. And I'm going to start ripping out its spines one by one.
Okay. How do I make this be a thing? How do we do this? I guess this is fighting skill.
Fighting skill.
Yeah.
Clubs.
You have the crowbar.
Clubs.
But he's not trying to necessarily damage. He's trying to remove spines.
I mean, that would hurt it.
Maybe,
Well,
maybe not.
Well, fun fact: echidna spines are actually just hair.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you kind of rake it down, kind of scraping motion or something.
Yeah.
that
How
kind
about this? How about we do a clubs roll, but I'll grant you advantage for the crowbar, so it'll just be a straight roll, I think, in your case, because you have disadvantage to clubs. And
Yep.
if you succeed, then we'll go ahead and roll damage, and that will be how many spines you remove. We'll go with that.
Ooh, okay, I like that. All right, here we go. Nope. Oh, that's a 0. Hold on. W001.
0-1, a critical success.
That is a critical success.
Okay, so normally under the critical success during combat, I look at a table and determine effects, right? But since you were doing a specific action, then Jeezy Greasies, I think what's going to happen is you are going to roll for me. We're going to increase your damage by 2 degrees, or 2 damage codes, so you're going to do 1d8 plus 7. Tell me what that number is. And I have a number based on the echidna's health points as to how many spines it has.
Okay. So 1d8 plus 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. 6 plus 7 is 13.
Ooh, you managed to remove most of its spines. Let me make sure I did my math right. So we've got 30.
I mean, you really went at him.
Oh man, yeah. Many of them spines. There's only about 5 spines left in this thing as you swipe this crowbar across its body.
But as you also see Ned take off his hat, you also notice that this half of his face is almost completely bitten off, as he has both the scarred and dead eye traits. So the eye that's on this side has been replaced with almost like a partially cursed eye. So I don't know if this will work, but if I target someone within a short range, they can make a resolve roll or become unnerved by me.
Yes,
Would this
that's
be
correct.
something to potentially unnerve this guy?
Yes, actually. Yes, because this thing is not a animal; it's a person. So yes, this would work. So I've got to make a resolve roll for him not to become unnerved. Let's see what happens. 68 is what I roll. That is well above the resolve. So it now becomes completely shaken or unnerved by all of this happening as you rip off all these things.
Just
Ripping, what's that saying?
don't struggle. Yep. This is how the Aussies do it.
Okay. We'll go to the unnamed curse chaser as you're holding a body in front of you.
Yes. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, kick the body towards the creature. So if I'm successful, it's going to,
Porcupine him.
connect you to the remaining spines.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to use the body to remove the remaining spines. Okay. Let's see.
Exactly.
Do we want to make this a brawl? Let's make this a brawl roll. That's better than what I was thinking. So let's make this a brawl roll. So you'll make.
I suppose that's one action, right? Because I kicked the body towards.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So a brawl. I have a 55, right? Okay.
I wouldn't give you advantage. I don't think bodies are primed for throwing, so I'm not going to count that.
Does restraint have anything to do with the dodge or the defensive
It does.
actions
It does
that the
actually.
creature can
Yes. Yeah. It
Okay.
does.
All right.
So you just need to succeed, and you will have successfully hit it.
All right. And
Do it, man.
let me roll.
0 critical failure. I get impaled by the body.
I will use that.
roll.
I will use that if that happens.
I'm gonna roll. I rolled a 32, so that's a success.
That is a success. The body goes careening across. Ned, as Ned is swiping this crowbar, talking. Hey, you just, as he's mumbling to the person, a body comes flying across the room, slams into the back of this creature, and impales itself on the remaining spines. It falls to the floor, pulling them free. And there's this strange moment where suddenly there is, where there once was an echidna creature, there is now a naked Jethro that is tangled up by the end of Sister Sarah's whip.
Yes. And then as my
Does not immediately release it.
As my second action, I think it's only prudent that I lunge towards Jethro, and with this part of my body just holds him up against the wall. I pin him against the wall, just in case.
Just in case, yeah, to be safe.
Yep.
Jethro clearly has been shot a couple of times. It doesn't look like he's doing so well. But he gets slammed against the wall, and he's just like, he just coughs out, and he says, "What happened?"
I did.
So we end the combat with you standing around in this strange scene.
I think that if you're holding him firmly against the wall, Sister Sarah would unleash her whip and pull out her medicine kit. And I'm not very good at this. I have to say I've never been particularly good and trying to like I don't know. Calvin, can you give me a hand here? I don't know how to really do this. I found this kit somewhere, and I just, not handy with it.
I'm
What is this,
proficient.
medicine?
I'm actually proficient with medicine.
I'm terrible at medicine.
You too.
I'm proficient. I can help.
I'm smart though, so I mean I could take a stab at it, but I'm not proficient.
Well, maybe
Why don't I
maybe
switch spots with? Yeah, why don't I switch spots? I'll hold Jethro down, and Felipe, Cece, you can help him. You can help tend to his wounds here.
yeah. So my medicine, if you use my medicine kit, it will help you. And I'm gonna look at Cece here, and I'm gonna be like, you be very careful. He's very important. Remember, you be very careful and take good care with his wounds. And I want to use command to make him be really, really mindful.
Yeah. Roll your command, and we'll see how much you add to his threshold.
Well,
That's just a regular success.
Okay.
regardless of her command, can I just say amen to her?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Amen,
she gave you a +5 to your threshold. So you will now try to roll under a 45.
Under 45.
Yep.
Well, it's a resolve roll. Is that what you?
No, it's a medicine roll, so it's going to be under your intelligence.
Oh, okay. So 5. Okay, let's roll. Under 45, right?
Yes.
I got a 62.
Yeah, you apply the patches and stuff, whatever, stabilize him, I guess, but you don't really heal him in any way that's recognizable, but you patch him up.
Yeah, we're in a dark cave,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
All right. So, how you feeling, buddy? I asked Jethro.
Oh, not good. There was these guys, and I can't do an Australian accent, so we're dealing with this right now.
You're Irish then. That's right. Most of the Irish, most of the Aussies around that time were Irish, actually.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no. So I was at the Beat Bog, and there was I don't know, but I got something, and then I woke up and I was being drugged by 3, and then I tried to escape, and then I seemed to be different, and I couldn't understand what I was smelling and seeing, and then I was under attack. I feel better now.
Can you stand? I'll help you stand.
Yes, I can stand.
All right, Ned, would you come here, lend a hand, and please put your head back on. You look hideous.
He says that's all right. My looks match your sparkling bloody personality, mate. And don't bloody coddle him. Get your ass up. I yell at Jethro.
He stands up and he comes to get over to you, and at first it seems like he's about to maybe punch you, right? That's the feeling in the moment.
I as soon as he comes up, I square up. I'm like, oh, what do you want?
But then he gives you a hug, because he realizes that you were the one that did the saving, essentially. It's just like a pat. It's just like a quick. It's like a quick pat, and then you're like, "Let's go."
There's that moment. There's that moment of like, oh, he didn't hit me. And it's like, all right. Oh, listen, you young fellas. He's up at the top of the cave. All right, you can't, be seen, kind of gesture at the fact he's got no clothes on. I'm gonna give him my jacket, and I'll take the pair of pants from the. You remember the other corpse that we found, kind of torn up. I'm gonna grab that, give that to him.
Gotcha. Yeah, you get some clothes on him.
And while Jethro's putting on some pants, I'm just gonna make a sly comment and be like, "Hey, just don't forget, I was the one that took out the last 5 ones. So technically, just saying. I mean, I don't want to name names, point fingers, but
So you guys are kind of moving Jethro out along the way. So, Sister Sara, and I imagine probably Calvin too, is going to linger a minute or 12 in the cavern with the water in it, and just kind of do a little looking around, see if there's anything cool to find.
Okay, I'm gonna yell back at you guys and be like, "Sister, don't forget your faith."
Well, just making sure you gotta bless the space. Gotta bless the space.
I know Calvin's good looking and a smooth talker, sister, but you keep your God in mind.
All right. Then I ask you, Susan, what is Sister Sara looking for aside from water?
Oh, anything shiny or valuable?
Gotcha. Well, sister.
It's from PG-13 to rated R, folks.
Sister, so aside from there being water, you want to salvage or something, but the one thing that's going to stand out to you quite a bit is that there are these echidna spines, which
no, she's not an idiot. She's just looking for like in olden times, people used to hide things in
that's fair.
Caves and things like that. So
make a salvage roll for me.
It is an amazing success.
Okay. Flippity flap, flippity flap, flippity flap. All right, 3 of them. Item number 1, you find some tobacco shoved in a little hole. But a little bit more than Ned was sort of throwing in all the holes along the way. Next thing that you find is a tool belt. And then finally, a trench coat that you found amid the things. A trench coat which has 3 armor.
Okay, so I'm going to...
as well as many water units as you possibly have things that can hold them.
Yeah, I was about to...
I filled up my water skins for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any water skins, do I?
I don't think you do, actually.
No. So I would, holler back at Ned and Cece. Do you boys have any water skins? I'm just trying to stay back here and get some of this good, clean water.
I'll do you one better. So instead of finding a tool belt, because you already have a tool belt, I will exchange it for a water skin, which holds 4 water units.
But Perfect. It's not a bad idea that she comes over to us and asks us for our water skin.
You could still ask the others, but I'm gonna give you that water skin.
Okay.
I'll probably tell them, realizing that they're taking the water, that it's probably not a good idea to take the water from the tribe without asking their permission. Here's the thing. Water is sacred, and if they want to give it to us and they want to share it, then we'll be right to take it. But if they hold on to that and they find out we took what ain't ours, they could make things a lot worse for us when we try to get water here later.
All right, how about this, Ned? We fill out our water skins, we ask them, and if they want to keep them for themselves, we just leave the bags with them.
That's totally fine with me, but I would just like to point out, I'm pretty sure, Jethro, did I misunderstand you that the reason that you were, hauled away was by three of them.
Yes.
You were attacked by them.
I don't know. I think that there was another one of whatever I was out there.
Aha. I see.
Hmm.
Out there where? At the peat bog?
Yes, I think so.
Did that attack you or no? Were you in cahoots?
I think so. I think it did.
You think too much, don't you? Look,
Yeah,
let's
thinking must be a real pain for you, mate.
look.
Look,
Let's fill up on water and head out of the cave
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Okay.
Honest.
Mike,
I
did
agree,
you
yeah.
did you want Calvin to be looking for anything real fast, and then I'll lead to the semi-epilogue of the story?
I don't even need to look for anything. I'm going to. I've got my quill already. So I would just fill up my water skins.
Okay. All right.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna put my water skin in my my secret spot.
Okay. Well, where are you storing the dynamite?
I'll move that to my bag.
Okay. Sounds good.
all right. I'm not gonna take any water,
Uh-huh.
but I'm thinking that the guy that I found those quills in earlier
Uh-huh.
on in the cave,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe he was the second echidna creature that we'd found.
Oh,
But I'm
funny.
also kind of like
Yeah.
Ned's just suspicious by nature, and he's like, maybe he wasn't. Maybe there's still one more of these things out there, and
I wonder if we should bring these fellows up. I mean, and I pull out the trench coat. Maybe we can just gently put them in here and use this as sort of
Drag
a
'em up?
stretcher to carry them up.
oh, the corpses? Yeah, no, I'll
Yeah.
help out with that.
So you
So
all
she puts it on the ground, and she,
Yeah.
basically is sitting there waiting for you guys to just do all the work.
as you come up to the top, as you have your stuff that you've carried, these bodies on a trench coat, dragging them up to the top of the cave. You get to the top and you find oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as I follow back, I'm gonna follow that tobacco trail that we left over. So I'm gonna use the smell of that tobacco to kind of follow the line and take the tobacco and kind of.
I assume
Repack it.
that's what you were using the tobacco for. I assume that's what you were doing, is tracking your movement through the tunnel. That's what I thought you were doing.
Yeah.
Same as chalking, essentially. I figured that's kind of what you were doing. Got
Yeah,
it.
but if we lost our light, for example, having chalk on the wall wasn't gonna do anything.
Yeah, right,
Mhm.
right. You can smell tobacco, and you can also just try a flame near the wall, see if it lights anything and smokes a bit, right?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, you follow the trail of tobacco back up to the entrance, and as you drag up to the entrance, you find the boy Oliver is throwing his boomerang, and the three that are with him, the three individuals, the indigenous people, they're watching and sort of encouraging him, giving him pointers and tips on how to throw it. As you come up, they heard the commotion. They were trying to distract the boy. You come to realize as they start talking to you, he sees his dad come out, and he immediately runs to him and gives him a hug, wraps around his legs. And then the rest of you come up, and they see the two individuals that you've brought with you up to the top, and they don't recognize either one of them, which makes them wonder, because they are definitely indigenous peoples, but they are not people they recognize. So they're not sure who these are, where they came from, but that leads to another mystery. A mystery that you would probably investigate at another time. For today, you have survived as a few among the cursed.
Yeah.
Yay!
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to end this
Thank
now with a
you.
traditional ending. Thank you for
you.
joining us and joining me, and thank everyone here for playing along with this adventure and finding out more about this world and this game. I hope you like it, and I hope you go to our Kickstarter and back it. And yeah, Very good. Follow us, everyone. Say goodbye. However you want to say goodbye. I'll give you all an individual chance to say goodbye and throw out shout-outs to yourself again. So I'll go in the same order. Felipe, Susan, Mike, and then Dag.
All right. Thank you so much for watching us going up against this amazing adventure. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys got to enjoy my, like Ned said, or Michael said, my sparkling personality. It was a joy coming up with the personality of the curse chaser, which will remain nameless. So just call me sir and let that be. And let's not forget that on top of the Kickstarter to fund production of the RPG book, we're also funding production of issue number 8 of the comic book series. And don't worry, if you've never read The Thinkers, we do have combos with previous issues as well. And there's a lot of materials for you guys to check it out. So thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thank you. It's great playing with you, Felipe, especially that sparkling personality. I'm sure that I've offended every nun out there, possibly. Again, I'm Susan Benville. Super excited. Scott, thanks so much for inviting me to play. I love Maximum Apocalypse. I've already backed this one, so I'm happy to do so. And my newest graphic novel is Nyx, and it is available at your local comic shop, your local bookstore, and wherever online you buy graphic novels.
Hi, Mike again. Thanks for watching, and joy to play as always. Great trail mastering, Scott. Again, we've got a couple of days left to fund a few and curse role-playing games, so we hope you'll join us. Otherwise, follow Rock Manor Games on any of the socials that you enjoy. You'll find us there.
Hi, guys. I don't know if you realize this, but it was me the whole time. Dead Aussie Gamer. That's right. It was me. It's all a ruse. That's right. My name is Mike. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. And you can find me over on the internet doing a bunch of really cool, wonderful, and amazing RPGs. Not just, your typical D20 RPGs like D&D and Pathfinder, but a whole bunch of really cool stuff like Maximum Apocalypse and now this game and so many others. I go around the internet, play with really cool people, and basically serve as an ambassador showcasing how amazing and wonderful the world of role-playing games are to any and everyone who wants to dive in. You can find me over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/DeadAussieGamer. You can also find me over on my other subsidiary channels where I am a member of the cast at Quincy's Tavern or on Careful Cantrip where I like to hang my hat as well. So yeah, that's me.
Cool. And like I said in the beginning, I'm Scott. I make games. You can also find me doing game stuff online. I do run a Hunter the Reckoning campaign right now on my channel, but I'm also with Hallowed Haven Studios doing a bunch of stuff with them. They were the ones that did 2 shots of Few and Cursed, so check them out. They're very cool people. But otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye for now and let you all go about your business and live your life however you want to live it. So goodbye now, everyone.